This is the Rough and Tumble episode. This is the Rough and Tumble podcast, episode 7. If you enjoy the podcast, please consider subscribing to our Patreon, following us on Instagram. Jesus Christ, I can't do it today. Oh, no, keep it going. We're just going to keep it going. Okay. We're going to keep it going. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening to the Rough and Tumble podcast. This is episode 7. Please consider following us on Instagram, on Patreon. You can. We've actually got a goal of $100 a month on Patreon. I can't get that word right today. Mitch, help me out. That Patreon.
I feel like you're auditioning for a stewardess on an airline.
I do too, man. This is rough today. This is the first time we have a guest on the podcast, and then
you're so
there's 4
starstruck.
people in the room.
First guest?
Yeah, you're the first guest.
What an honor.
Yeah, we had
okay.
Technically, you're the first guest. Bryce Mitchell. We haven't said your name yet. Bryce Mitchell is our first guest. We had another guest on, but he wasn't allowed to talk. And so
he
sat in the room.
He wasn't allowed to talk. What Johnny's been trying to say this entire time is this is the episode 7 of the Rough and Tumble podcast. Mm-hmm. Please go and support us on social media. You can go to our Patreon. We would love to have your money. You can find us on Instagram. And biggest thing you can do is just continue supporting the podcast like you've been doing.
You can also listen on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and Google Play. Let's get into the episode.
You're listening to the Rough and Tumble podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I couldn't do it, man.
Jesus Christ.
That was our best intro for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely going to leave it like it is.
Yeah.
Just going to leave that one like it is. Not even going to edit anything.
And that was the second take. We've got Bryce Mitchell. What's up, man?
Hey, brother, man. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being here, man.
Superstar, UFC fighter.
That's right.
I forgot to ask you.
I'm no superstar, but
I think you're super.
Hey, that's true. I am super, so I guess so.
That's true. Yeah. I forgot to ask you when you're fighting, and you have a big fight coming up, and I forgot to ask you all the details beforehand, so you get to tell everybody.
Yep, I'm fighting December 7th, Washington, D.C. Dude's name is Matt Sales, and 145 like always, so.
Do you know anything about him?
He's a kickboxer mainly.
Sounds
I don't
like
know.
A loser.
I mean, he might try to shoot in or something, but I'm expecting just power punches and probably won't even shoot in. So, But if it shoots in, I won't be surprised. You know. So.
What's his name again?
Matt Sales.
Matt Sales.
His name is the guy that Bryce Mitchell's going to beat the shit out
That's
of.
That's right. You said that's December 7th.
Mm-hmm. December 7th.
Washington, D.C.
Dude, that's awesome. Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's pretty
really
badass.
Cool.
Like, I really want to fight around here. Like,
yeah.
Texas would be a good one because Houston or Dallas, that would be good. You know, Louisiana.
That's God's country in Louisiana.
Tennessee.
I've heard rumors that they tried to get an Arkansas UFC card. Like, I've seen pictures of the proposal.
Really?
And it was going to be in Northwest Arkansas. The guy that was running the building that it was in the quote was he didn't believe in MMA.
Well,
and
it
so
exists.
They wouldn't allow it.
Does he know that it exists?
Yeah.
You can look it up on the internet.
It's like Santa Claus.
That's dumb.
Son, you know MMA isn't real. It doesn't exist.
The dude was texting me that after one of my fights, he was after my first UFC fight, this dude threw a flag to me. It was Arkansas flag.
Yeah, Daniel knows that guy. He works, that's Daniel's boss.
He was pushing for it super hard. The dude that threw me the flag, man.
Yeah.
And I know his name, but damn, I've been hit too many times.
I don't either.
And I cannot remember. I can't think of it right now, but I know who it is.
So you were coming out of the cage or something, and he threw you the flag?
Rolly was carrying me.
Oh, was
I
he?
beat the shit. Yeah, it was.
Man. And Rolly's like the smallest guy I know. So the fact that he was able to carry you, he was just on pure adrenaline, I guess.
Well, it was I much preferred it rather than the walk, man.
I don't blame you.
And you know, I was gonna fucking pimp walk out of there, you know,
Right.
but he was like, man, we're gonna make you look like a champ, you know. But I'll tell the truth is because my legs was torn to shit. That's why
Yeah,
it carried me
dude.
out. Not
Yeah.
because we was celebrating
went to-
like, oh, you're so special, we're gonna carry you out of here. It's 'cause
Right.
my legs was fucked
You went
up.
to the hospital after that fight, right?
No, they just IV'd me twice,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I came back to life. But man, I just didn't hydrate properly. I mean, just severe dehydration.
Yeah, man,
like
you
muscle.
looked kind of. I mean, I train with you all the time at the gym, and you know, you've got one of the biggest gas tanks in the gym between you and TJ Brown and you know a couple of other guys. So whenever watching that fight, I was like, man, he just looks a little tired. You know,
It was just fluid. It just had no fluid. You know, just didn't do that very smartly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I mean, you live and you learn. You know,
Yeah.
I'll be on 2 gallons a fucking day, 3 weeks out from this fight. You know,
so that's what you like to do. You like to waterlog,
But
and
here's
then
the thing. You know how I said I was real small.
uh-huh.
I didn't cut any weight for that fight. I just showed up.
Yeah,
and
I
fought.
remember
So
that,
I didn't waterlog. I thought, well, since I ain't cutting any weight, I don't got to waterlog. What's the point? I'm not gonna cut anything.
Right.
Well, you also waterlog for the fucking fight.
Yeah.
I'm fucking stupid, bro.
Yeah,
You know, but that I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. You know,
Yeah,
I look at
same.
it as a learning opportunity. And Rolly says this a lot. He says you could have learned I don't know way worse. But you could have learned by a knockout, getting knocked
yeah,
out.
dude.
I learned coming off of a win.
Yeah.
Speaking of
So
knockouts,
you know.
Oh, yes.
Thomas Gifford.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that?
I read
I think,
154 punches.
If I was in his corner, I would have said let your left go more.
Uh huh.
I would have said he's all right. He's all because he is southpaw, correct?
I didn't see the fight. I just
I
saw
don't
the highlight.
I watched the
where he
fight.
got knocked out.
Maybe I've been hit too many times. I can't remember, but he's all jabs and lead hands.
Yeah.
You've got to let your power because that guy was throwing power,
Man, was
Yeah.
he ever?
and Thomas, you know, he actually does very good in those types of fights.
Yeah.
That's the type of fight that he thrives in, and I've seen him come from behind and win like that. But you know, it's only something that can last so long.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
What do you think? You know, a lot of people on social media, Facebook, Reddit, big time.
Oh, yeah, they're tearing him
They were
up on
tearing his
Reddit.
dad apart. You know, like, do you think when he went back to his corner, because there was a moment where he went back to his corner, and they asked him straight up, like, "Are you good?" And he said no. And then
He said no.
It's my
Literally,
understanding
said
he was just
no.
like, it was something to that effect.
I heard he said, I feel terrible.
That's what it was. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like, how do you feel? And he said, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
And he said, do you want
That's
to keep
what I heard.
fighting? And Tommy said, of course.
His dad said, of course.
No, Thomas, little Tommy
okay.
said, like, yeah, of course I want to keep fighting. But that's what fighters are going to do. You can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't leave that in the fighters.
They actually pulled that ref after that fight.
Really?
Yeah, the athletic commission pulled the ref. I think after the Vicks fight, there was a knockout from underneath. After that fight, they pulled
That's
him,
brutal.
and Herb Dean had to ref the rest of them.
No shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. I've been a ref, right? So I've ref for the IBJJF, I've ref for AGF, I've ref for Grappling Industries. It is an extremely stressful
Oh my
position to be
God.
in.
Especially kids matches.
Yes, because every parent,
horrible.
every parent thinks that their
Those
kid's a
little
fucking
Yeah.
badass, you know. And here's the thing, man.
Kids will go to sleep.
They
dude.
will. Kids
They'll
will go
let
to
their arms
sleep.
break.
And here I look at it like this, man. Like, I'm a dad, right? I got a lot of kids. I got 4 girls, and they train here and there and stuff like that at Westside. But I gotta tell you, man, like, there's a time and a place to teach your kid not to quit.
Yeah.
Right? Teach your kid not to quit school. Teach your kid like not to, you know, don't quit driving in the middle of driving. 'Cause you're gonna cause
Training is
car
where
accidents.
those lessons should be learned.
Right.
Not in a fight.
But you should also teach your kid humility and humbleness and the understanding that when you're caught, you're caught.
Yeah.
You know, and like, but if you're encouraging, in my opinion, like, I watched a young girl who had her arm fully extended, right? And I stopped the fight. And the girl's dad and whoever were like, she was about to escape. And I'm like, well, how do I know that? I don't know what she does in training. I only know what I see. And so,
And that's within the rules for you to do.
right,
so.
I got to think about
It's
the
like-
safety of the fighter.
Yeah.
And so,
You
of course,
shouldn't be complaining about it. You acted within the rules.
yeah. And then on top of that, you know, I talked to the dad. I'm like, well, man, regardless, him and I are going to have one or two conversations. The one conversation is going to be, why'd you stop the fight so soon? My daughter was going to escape. The other conversation we have is, why did you let my daughter get her arm broke? Either way, it sucks, right? One just sucks more. And I'm going to have more of a guilty conscience on the other side of one, you know? And so, but when you talk about that dude getting pulled, man, like, dude, and I'm not comparing the reffing that I've done to in a cage like that around that many spectators. Like, dude, no matter what decision you make, you're fucking somebody, you know?
Yeah, you really went on a rant there.
Well,
Those
fuck
first two
those
rounds
dudes.
might have been 10-8, you know?
Yeah, I didn't get to see the actual fight.
I caught the very end of it.
That being said, though, I mean, like, Bryce, we've talked about this before. You're a smart person in training. Like,
Try to be.
you'll need to, you'll
Not
step out
perfect.
whenever you need to.
Far from perfect.
That's why he only trains with me, because he's like, ain't no way Mitch is going to give me problems.
I need some hard rounds. That's why the other night when I knew you wasn't even training, you was wearing a T-shirt, but I was like, fuck.
Bryce always catches me when I'm wearing cargo shorts or something. Like, I'll be sitting on the wall, like chilling, you know, because it's always Tuesday and Thursday nights when I see him. And it's after I've already trained for an hour before class, and then I teach my kids class. And then I'm like chilling or whatever, drinking some water. And Bryce will be like, hey, brother, man, you gonna give me one of them rounds? You got more of them rounds, man? And I'm like, God damn, I guess, dude. Like, I'm not going to say no to Bryce Mitchell. I wouldn't tell TJ no either.
The thing is, too, is I know you probably had done like 15 rounds before that.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the class ain't a lot to, you know, sometimes more people show up and it's like I got plenty of bodies and I'm worn out. I ain't going to ask Mitch. I'm fucking dead. And there's killers on the mat trying to get me. But then some nights it's like.
You got to hunt out those people.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just depends.
I think I've only said no once in like the last 6 months. And I think it was because I actually was sick. And I was like, man, I shouldn't even be here, let alone training with you. So, but yeah, Wes Allen always gives me shit too. He's like, man, you got them cargo shorts on. Bryce probably going to try to train with you.
Man, me and him was lifting today. His back spazzed up on him.
Dude, Wes is a beast, man.
He is.
He's
strong
older
as
than
shit.
both of us.
He got that old man strength.
He does.
Man. He's throwing up that bench press and then just repping it. He goes, oh, I'm done. He goes, my back just locked up. Like he acted like that ain't the first time. His
No,
back's
dude,
locked
he's been
up,
having some
you
back
know?
problems and some like front hip problems too, and like
It was probably the wrestling because
it probably. The thing is, he does like 7 a days. Like he'll go out and run with Chuck, do a 5K, come back to the gym, wrestle, go do another 5K, and then come back and do open mat, and then like he don't ever tell nobody no when it comes to training. You know, like
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's like, man, you might want to call it a day.
Call it a day. Bryce, I've actually been thinking about a lot on this episode what I've been wanting to ask you, and specifically related to fighting, because I only want to focus like just a little bit of the episode on that stuff. But I specifically wanted to ask you about your mentality, because whenever I look at you, whenever you're fighting, and I see you before the fight, I see somebody that's like just there, just ready to do the thing that you're there to do. Like there's nothing, just another day in the office. And there's few people that I think like, and maybe I'm totally misreading the situation. You could be
I think
shitting your pants on the inside.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think, is that something that you had to work on through your amateur career, or was that something that just you kind of got and you were ready to go?
I mean, there's actually some fights where it's better than others.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
But, yeah, man, I just try to be just go out there and get the fucking job done. You know what it is.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is, man. And, man, I've actually, there's pros and cons, you know, and there's ups and there's downs and shit. But, you know, I try to go out there and enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying it's a fucking enjoyable thing.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying it's an easy job, but it is what it is, and you're out there fucking doing it. So I try to enjoy it. You know, I enjoy it. I try to enjoy the
moment, like what you're doing.
You know,
right?
it is what it is, and you know, I'm only gonna do it till a certain point until I meet my goals. You know, but while I'm doing it, I'm gonna.
So you've kind of put restrictions on your career as far as like, once I hit this point, I'm I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I need
move
to-
on
I need to
and
get
find
out.
something else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you're in college. Are you still studying economics?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you're in school and you're working toward a bachelor's.
What's your plan with the economics degree?
Yeah.
What do you want to do with that?
I just want to make my mom happy and
Yeah.
just leave me alone. You know, because
Just
like,
make her a
it's-
bunch of money.
I mean, well, shit.
She just wants you to. She wanted you to at least get an education.
Here's the thing: is with the degree, dude, it's costing her a lot of money.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know, I told her I will not pay for some shit I don't believe in.
Sure.
but she says I'll pay for it for you,
Right.
Yeah.
and I'm like, well. And oh, by the way, if you don't, I hate you. Don't come over for Christmas. You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, all right, I'll do it. And
Is it because you love Christmas dinner?
it's exactly that's my motivation. Thanksgiving, Christmas, no.
man.
But it's like,
And you're working hard at it too. You're not
taking me a
floating
long
through.
time, dude. I'm going to school with these 18-year-old kids. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like an old man in that class. You know, but it's because it's taken me so long. I've been there since I was 18. In my first 3 semesters, I did 15 hours a semester. And then I told my mom, I was like, I'm not doing this shit no more because I need to train more.
Yeah.
And I said it just like that. And I said, we're going to have to renegotiate the terms, you know.
So that's what it is, man. You get in the UFC and you start becoming business minded, and you're like, you know what, Mom? We're gonna have to renegotiate this contract. because-
And so we happily renegotiated, and I've been working on it for 2 classes a year.
Just doing part time,
Just
basically, like
part-time.
severely part
And I was
time.
gonna
Yeah.
I was gonna do 3, but at Harding if you do 3, it's chapel every day. So it's like, Mom, I can't
yeah.
go to fucking chapel every day. I got
I mean, Jesus knows you got to train. You know,
That's
so
exactly.
He knows.
Exactly.
To take
That's
care
what I'm saying.
the thing that I've always told people whenever like I'm training a fighter or whatever and their families like getting involved as far as you know, like, oh, you need to do family things and blah blah blah. And it's like your parents should want you to train because your training is your safety. You know, the more that you train, the more safe you are going
Yeah.
to be in your occupation. And if you're not able to train, then
Exactly.
you might get fucked
But
up.
nobody truly understands that, like
Right.
the fighter, because they see you from the outside. They don't, you know.
yeah,
I have, you know, of course,
they
that's
see
a-
the
that's a
result,
problem.
not the process.
They don't see what goes into it. Yeah, the process. They don't see that shit. You know.
Yeah, dude, it's long days, man. Like, you know, I'm a recreational competitor. I'm not a professional. I'm not full time of in any way, shape, or form. I mean, and I know the long days that I put in, having a day job, training, teaching, things like that, getting miles. So I can't even begin to imagine. You know, plus I take the weekends off. You know what I mean?
You're straight up savage though, man. I mean, you can
Well-
fight if you wanted to. I'm glad that you don't have to, and
Me
that
too.
you got all that other good shit going on for you. But
I don't like
hey,
getting punched in the face.
If push came to shove, you could fight. You train like a savage, dude.
Man, I tell you, my go-to is always just pull my pants down.
Yeah, that's the best.
I've stopped
strategy.
so many
It
fights.
won't work on everybody.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet that Bryce might get more amped up into training.
He's gonna be like, "Fuck, we're doing that."
Yeah.
No
All
gi,
right.
okay, no
Okay.
gi.
Yeah.
As soon as my pants come off, we're in Bryce's territory.
He just double legs you as soon as your pants hit the floor.
with his mouth wide open.
Oh, man.
Oh,
So tell me about like a little bit about like your family background, because I mean like I don't know anything about your family, your background, your growing up and all of that stuff. I mean, we've been friends for a while, but we don't necessarily sit down on the mats and go, listen, I came up from here and did this,
Yeah,
this and this,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I want to know, that's what I want to know about. I want to know about Bryce Mitchell.
Well, I had a single mom, and I appreciate the questions too, man.
Yeah.
You know, this is stuff that I don't get asked very often.
Right. Well,
So
that's
this
what
is cool,
I mean.
man.
Like, I want people to know the Bryce Mitchell that we know every day, not the Bryce Mitchell that
Mm-hmm.
he gets 5 seconds on TV and has to spat out a bunch of words. You know,
Yeah.
like right after a fight. I've always had the hardest time with that. Like, dude,
Nobody's-
I just fought somebody. Like, I'm tired. Don't ask me questions.
nobody's ever interviewed me after a fight.
Really? Oh.
No, they're just like, "Oh, that sucks. You lost." I'm like, "Yeah, man, just
you have to win them for them to interview you.
it's true."
They it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, man.
So you,
Raised by my mother, you know, she just taught me the mentality, you know, just to grind, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned that from. And have Papa, Mimi, you know, they helped raise me.
They help raise you.
And
Yeah.
now is that your mom's mom and dad?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you went to,
My father's no contact.
so
His mom and dad were in a cult. One of them killed himself.
they were in a
Whoa.
cult?
No, I'm sorry, they both killed themselves.
In a cult?
Anti-government cult, yeah.
No
That's
shit.
That's one of the
nuts.
last things my Mimi told me before she passed away.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
really weird because, I mean, I was, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Talked to my Mimi all the time. She told me about Grandma Cora. Told me about everything, you know. But
Mhm.
it wasn't until after her surgery she had like a trachea thingy,
Yeah.
you know. And she told me that. And it's just, I never forgot. She only said it one time. But
Hell,
it's
I don't.
like,
That's
that shit
nuts,
hit
yeah.
me, you know.
Were they in Arkansas? Was it something in Arkansas? Or was it like, did
I
they
don't think-
move
I
out to Utah or something?
They did.
Something like that?
Everything's in
Yeah,
Utah.
everything's
dude.
in
All the
Utah.
cults are in Utah.
God, we can't get a
Well,
good
here's
cult in
the
Arkansas
thing.
to save our lives.
With the way child support works, if you move every couple of years, I think it's
Oh.
if you relocate every 2 years. So the most recent check, and things are meant to be, and creepy shit happens.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
and God, or whatever you want to call it, I believe is. But when you said Utah, that's where the last check came from.
No shit.
And it wasn't a check; it was a notice that the check was denied. My mom didn't pursue child support. She told me you can do everything you want
Absolutely.
on your own.
Yep.
And so he sent that. The government sent her a check from Utah. Said he's in Utah, and we can't get money from him because
Can't find him or what?
I know he relocates every 2 years.
Oh,
'cause
so they
he's
can't
smart.
track him.
He's smart,
Yeah.
but he has no fucking balls,
Obviously.
Right.
you know. So, but he's smart. He played the game, and he got rid of the child support. You know, he bounced
Yeah.
around, and that's how he got rid of that child support.
That's fucking crazy.
But yeah, so if you relocate, I think it's every 2 years. You don't got to pay shit. So he would one time it was like Nevada, but the last one was from Utah.
Man.
So it's like Nevada. He would just bounce around. And I
Yeah.
was like, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing? And
Yeah.
then my mom
Did they meet? Did your
Wow,
mom and dad meet in Arkansas? Or was it somewhere else and then she moved here? Like where are you guys originally from?
from Arkansas
Yeah.
as far back as Grandma Cora, and I don't know who comes before Grandma Cora.
Sure.
But she would be my great grandma.
Okay.
And as far back as we know, or as I know,
Yeah.
Arkansas. And my mom grew up in Hot Springs. Grandma grew up and lived her whole life in Hot Springs.
And then you
I
you
grew
went
up
to
in
Cabot High School, right?
Because my mom, she was a district manager for Walmart.
Nice.
Bounced around like crazy, store to store. You know what I'm saying? Because she managed multiple stores, so she would always be driving store to store to store, and her car would be filled up with inventory, like because she's got to stock shelves and shit. But mainly, that was mainly at Fred's. When she quit Walmart because she was working so many hours. I mean, it was babysitter after babysitter.
Yeah.
Just working so many hours. She eventually quit. Started working for Fred's, which I'm glad that she did. You know, she's a lot less stressed. But
Yeah.
that's her job. You know, driving
Yeah.
store to store.
She still does that now?
She's a manager now.
Okay.
Just one store.
Oh,
Not
okay.
so just manages one store. She's very happy. And
She managed the one in Cabot?
Sherwood.
Sherwood. Okay.
Bryce is having a terrible time keeping
Dude,
his
those fucking
headphones.
earbuds are not
We gotta
made.
get
Ears,
his
man.
cauliflower ears
Cauliflower
rejecting
ears,
those
man.
headphones real bad.
I have the best ears in the room.
So
you
do
guys
you-
are all fucked up.
It's just my left ear. Do you have like, you know, like once you're older and stuff, you can look back and like kind of connect the dots of where you're at. It's a little bit easier to connect those dots, right? Do you have like do you have just instances that like you kind of see that brought you to fighting and to what you love to do now? Like, you know, for me it was like Power Rangers. I was like, oh my god, dude, like I want to be a Power Ranger when I grow up, you know?
For
and
me,
like,
it was Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport.
yeah, that we got to do an episode about what the real story is.
That's
about
the real story.
blood
About
sport.
Frank Dukes?
About Frank Dukes, yeah.
I was going to say, that was my real story.
I'd
But
say neighborhood training, like
yeah, just
Yeah.
like getting in fights in your
Just
neighborhood and
like-
stuff.
boxing matches, fights,
Yeah.
just even wrestling matches. Like we didn't know, or really grappling matches. You know, we used to grapple on the trampolines. That
course.
was
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite thing
dude.
to do, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly. We did that for hours,
That's
bro.
all I knew was a rear naked choke and an armbar. That's the only two things. No, I didn't know an armbar. I'm sorry. That was the first legit submission that I learned when I went to a gym.
Yeah,
But I just knew a guillotine and a rear naked choke for the longest time.
Just
when
from
I was-
watching TV?
Just from watching TV. And you automatically know, just it's in your head, grab a motherfucker's head, grab their neck and squeeze.
yeah,
That's the most like primal thing.
right.
So that's
Yeah.
first
Go for the
thing.
head.
If you're not watching YouTube and in the UFC, if you're just a little kid playing in the backyard, that's the first thing you think of. You grab this motherfucker's throat, squeeze it.
Yeah. How old are you now?
25. Just
25.
25.
Okay.
Dang, I thought you were like younger than
Yeah.
that. I don't feel so bad now.
I'm old and I got miles on me. No,
Yeah.
I guess I'm not too old, but I got a shit ton of miles on
But
me.
man, to be 25 into where you're at, that's
I
you're in a
appreciate
good
it,
point.
brother, man. I appreciate it.
How much
man.
is it?
I still have more goals I want to reach, and I'm happy with everything. That's and I'm truly blessed, man. It's not just me. It's somebody. It's a blessing.
Yeah, and it's the people around you. I
That's
see a
exactly
strong
what it
community
is.
of people around
That's
you, and
exactly what it is.
I've always really respected that you were one of the first in the area that gathered a group of people. You intentionally went from gym to gym, training with a lot of different people and a lot of different styles, because you knew that's what was necessary.
Yeah, I've
We don't
always
have
been
super
encouraged
gyms here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We don't have the super gyms. I've always been encouraged to cross train, and when you just everybody has, if somebody devotes their fucking life to martial arts, whatever it be, and they have a specialty, a niche, and you can take, they're gonna be able to fucking show you something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you go
You
with
remember Max
everybody
Bishop?
and yes,
That dude was a
Leglocks, Footlocks.
fucking-
Yeah.
That
I
dude
think-
was the worst person to teach with, though, because he would put you in a hill hook
Yeah,
and
he'll
then
fuck
start
you up.
teaching
Yeah.
from there.
I'm scared to be his demo partner
Dude.
myself.
The two most underrated coaches, I think, in Arkansas is Willie McLaughlin, who you came from, and Max Bishop, who I personally have never trained with. I've only heard like the highest things about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He was an interesting guy, though, man. Super. You want to talk about, I made the joke earlier about
There's some
being
good stories, man.
dude, he was a military guy,
Yeah.
so him and I talked a lot about that and stuff, but like he was like the real deal, like 1980s Dalton from Roadhouse dude. Like he was really like the kind of guy that was like, he tried to fight me one time, like real life fight me
Damn.
one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, are you fucking sane?
What for?
Well, it's a funny story.
Here we go.
So I used to teach at a gym in Jacksonville. I was a purple belt at the time, and Max had come in there and was teaching some classes also.
I might have heard this story
Oh.
in a rumor.
Oh,
I'm
it
so
wasn't a
excited
rumor.
to hear the
Dude.
firsthand account of it.
It got wild on Facebook to the point where I had to anyway, I'll tell the story. So I don't know why he got upset with me. I said some stuff about someone else, and I guess it got back to him that I was talking bad about him. I wasn't talking shit about him. And I'm just thinking, like, why the fuck would I talk shit about you? And he started posting stuff on Facebook about how he was going to, like, beat the shit out of me. And how he started messaging about how he's going to take me to his barn, his mule barn, and like I'm dead serious. Everything I'm saying was a direct quote.
He's not gonna like
been
this
horseback
podcast
riding
very
with
much
him. He
now.
took me out horseback riding. That was a crazy.
And I'm
shit.
just
I've done
like-
it a long time. I'm surprised I survived.
Here's why I would never fight Max. And I told him, I was like, Max, I didn't say any of the stuff that you think I said, and two, I'm not fucking retarded. Like I'm not gonna fight you because Max is the kind of guy that like if me and Johnny got into a fight, it'd be a fight. But if Max is gonna stab you in the neck with a stick, like you're gonna get
He's gonna do
tetanus
something
and you're gonna
fucked up from the waist down. Something
he's gonna
from
break
the
your
waist
knee.
down.
He would break your leg off.
Up.
He knows American
no.
Rough and Tumble. Right, he covered this martial art.
Actually, Max Bishop should have been on. Like that dude is American Rough and Tumble 100%. Like he would cut your leg off and then stab you in the neck with your leg.
Yeah.
And then pull your heart out with his bare hand. I'm not fucking fighting that guy. The guy's been doing that. Oh my God. I think he's ripped eyeballs out before. Like it's done some crazy shit. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Just seen
So-
horseback riding,
and I was
man.
like,
I went over there with him, and
dude,
So it looks like I'll never be training with Max Bishop.
he's a good dude, man. But dude, he is scary as fuck.
he's got, as far as the the options go on the Leglocks, I mean, he's, the highest, up there, the highest caliber.
Rolly got a lot of his stuff from Max.
Shit, Eddie Bravo gets shit from him.
Yeah,
He's got options upon options.
Mm-hmm.
So many options, I can't even remember them all. And, shit, I mean, I really can't remember. Like, I've been to one of his seminars, and man, it's so much advanced shit that I can't remember. I mean, I got a lot of basics from him. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where my leg lock game is basic fundamentals. Use it when I'm in bad positions to try to get up.
Yeah.
To get up. Get the fuck up. Because I hate seeing just the footlocks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely,
I
man.
hate seeing it's
I think it set. I think the
retarded.
leg lock game set a lot of people's jiu-jitsu back when it gained a lot of popularity. Like when you looked at sport jiu-jitsu, right? So guys were doing the submission only stuff, and they were killing leg locks, and they were completely ignoring guard passing, guard retention, and all this other stuff. And I think it affected a lot of people. One thing I did want to ask you, when you were early on in your fighting career, you won almost everything by submission, and you took everybody's back and choked them out. I remember one of your last fights prior to the UFC. I can't remember I watched it at Rolly's house.
Was it against Jacob Hobby? I watched that the other day.
I don't know, but I know the dude was
a good one.
I think you were
That
like
was a good fight, man.
20, 21 years old, and he was a grown ass man. And I remember thinking, like, damn, that's gotta suck. Like this dude, the guy you were fighting looked like he probably owned an auto hobby shop and had like a couple of kids, and you. I remember you just took his back. You're a young kid, but what do you think it was that allowed you to be able to get to the back so easily and finish almost every fight from that position? I mean, you never take my back in training, ever.
It's never happened, not once.
Bullshit.
In my amateur career, I did get a lot of back takes.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, a shit ton. That was my main finish was, and all my amateur fights went to finish. Even the one I lost, he finished.
Someone finished somebody.
So when I went in there, something was getting fucking finished.
I feel you.
And, but yeah, really when I was an amateur, man, to be honest, I always thought I need to go in here and grapple heavy because I had it planned pretty early on in my amateur fight career. Maybe by my first or second, third fight, somewhere early on, I was like, I want to try to make a career out of this and try to make money to provide for the people that I love. Like it's a serious issue. I want to do this as long as I can and be healthy and try not to be as retarded when I'm retired.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking, man, this amateur career would be real. Like if I could take everybody down, absorb hardly any damage, I could extend my career.
I got you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one.
So the opposite of what Thomas Gifford did last night. I got you.
Yeah.
Man, and it was ugly, man. It was ugly.
For the record, that guy's tough as nails.
Yeah.
I mean,
Super
tough as
good
shit.
guy.
I mean, he's fucked a lot of people up too. I've seen him. Do that more times to people
Yeah.
than it happens to him. But that's what happens when you get in the UFC. And here's like I was going back to this. I've seen Thomas take a lot of those fights and win that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Win that way. Like doom. But he's got a gas
catch a
tank
triangle or
and he
something.
never fucking quits. He's got a gas tank and he never fucking quits. And if you got a gas tank and you never fucking quit, you have a fucking chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
That's probably my biggest problem is I have a gas tank, but I quit all the time.
But I mean, and I'm not saying that the fight shouldn't have been stopped. That's not what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But that's not his job.
No, you're absolutely
It's not
right.
his
It's not the
job.
fighter's
Yeah.
job.
That's not
You're
his
right.
job.
You're
That's
right.
not his job. I trust my cornerman with my life.
Yep.
If I die out there, I die out there. It was pursuing something I've already established. When I die, I've already got little businesses going. It's in my mom's name. So if I die, I'm good.
Keeps on.
It's going to keep on keeping on,
That's
brother.
right, baby.
And so,
Laughs the garden, dig it.
hell yeah, I love some Joe Dirt, man. But
You guys
yeah,
live
man,
in a similar house.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I actually moved into my girlfriend's trailer.
Get out of
now,
town.
and it's,
Get out of town. Did you build a
Man,
roof over hers
It's
too?
like a double wide. It's nice.
it's-
It came with a metal roof.
Did it really?
Oh, there we
So
go.
So what'd you do with your camper? Is it still out on your land?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm wanting to run cattle out there, and I mean, I stay out there if something.
You guys are fighting and whatnot.
Well, shit, she ain't kicked me out yet, but
That's nice. That's nice.
But yeah, man.
You been hunting all this year?
Dude, I missed one like 3 nights ago, and I'm
Did you?
wanting to redeem myself.
Yeah.
I was calling this doe in. I got this nice grunt call, calling it in. It stops, and then she turns around, and I'm thinking, oh shit. I bet I gotta, because she walked like 2 steps into the field, but I've got brush over here to my left. I can't move my gun because it's gonna rustle some leaves and shit. So I'm waiting for her to walk right into my fucking shit. And she stops, and she turns around, and it's like, oh crap, now I gotta move and fire. She's gonna hear it. And I'm like, should I call her? Should I try to call it or take the shot? And I was like, oh, I just took the shot. It was a bad shot, missed. I should have called her. Because the call was working. The call she was.
You should have just said, if you had said, hey, bitch, come here. That's how I shot all my deer. That and I just pee all over the trees.
Whoop.
Can I get some more water,
Yep.
please? I'll just fill it up in the sink.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate
That's what she's here for.
I appreciate it.
God.
She's going to get so mad at me.
She's going to rear naked choke.
I know,
right there,
dude.
man. Your
Yeah,
back's
I gotta cool
completely
it.
exposed.
Because this is like, I know, I'm danger zone over here. And because this is like the most her and I have had conversation.
Right.
And I'm completely ruining it by talking shit the whole time.
Yeah. She understands.
Is this
She's
her
talking
first
shit.
podcast right here?
Yeah, this is the first time she sat in. We just,
Well, that's convenient.
I needed somebody to run the camera because it only goes 20 minutes at a time.
Uh-huh.
And so we just needed her to press that button. And now it's turned into
Everything.
She's done
She's
gotten us
managing
coffee, water, everything. So it's my personal assistant. I'm just kidding. It's my lovely girlfriend. Is it? Are you guys hot? Is everybody good?
Oh, I'm good.
This isn't a professional
But
studio, so
man, when you fight like that, like I said, I've seen Thomas fight a lot like that over his amateur career, pro career,
yeah.
and you can only fight like that for so long. I mean,
Dude.
It's eventually, but he has won. He's won way more fights than he's lost like that. But,
Yeah. Well,
man,
I'll tell you.
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, he just got to and when I was an amateur, that was one of my goals. Like I would only engage in that type of battle if I had to. I would. My first option is to try to minimize the damage and win the fight. But if doing so, I'm not winning the fight. The ultimate goal is win the fight. So if I have to take a shit ton of damage to win the fight, then I'll do it. But that's not the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I want to. And that's not a pussy thing to do if you're trying to fight for 20 years. Or
And you're trying to be. Yeah. It's smart.
It's a smart thing to do. But,
Absolutely.
Some people might be like, oh, you're being a little bitch. You're being too calculated.
Well, those are also the people that aren't going to be able to talk in 10 years.
That's true. Yeah. I don't think anybody's game plan has ever been like, I'm going to go in there and make him break his hand on my face.
Yeah.
And then I'll show him.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always had kind of this weird, like, I've always wanted that war. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always wanted to test myself and push myself through that just to see if I could. But damn it, I also don't want brain damage.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. You want that Arturo Gotti, Mickey Ward fight at least once. I don't want 3 of them.
The good thing about brain damage, though, is I don't know if you know that it's happening. So at least
You don't.
You can
Yeah.
be in your own happy
Right.
little world.
I wonder
It's
it
your
all
own
the
little
time.
world, and nobody else is gonna bother you in it. You know?
Yeah.
Always.
as long as you're chilling.
Well,
At least joint damage, it's like you're gonna notice.
yeah,
that.
you notice
You're
it every
gonna-
day. My elbows are fucked.
Yeah,
Like they suck.
Back,
Dude.
knees,
Yeah.
shoulders, everything, man.
Man, I told Matt Hamilton like 2 months ago, I was like, man, I'm so glad I don't have back problems. And then like 30 days later, I started having a back issue in my lower back. And I think it's muscular though. I don't think I have anything.
I
that's
overdid
serious.
it the other day.
What is
Yeah.
your
I had
what is
a
your
pinch for a couple days, but I overdid it one day. I flipped tires, hit sledgehammers, squatted, and did them little reverse back curl things. Did those, and I started holding plates. That was the first time I started holding plates. So I'm doing these reverse curls. Next day I go do jujitsu, and my back was just flared up. You know, it happens. It takes,
Yeah.
and I'm only 25.
I know.
It's gonna be bad when I'm.
what's
35.
your worst training related because I'm not going to bring up that you put a drill through your nut. Anybody with
Yeah.
anybody
That's your worst non-training related injury.
anybody with YouTube can go into that. I want to
Yeah.
know what's your most your worst training related injury.
I would definitely say the accumulation of the brain damage.
Just the brain
You know,
damage.
that
So
would-
that's something that just really weighs heavily on your mind. I mean,
mean,
it's just
you
something
just-
that you think about a lot.
I mean, it don't, like I said, it is what it is.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
I've accepted the terms of
Right. Correct.
the agreement. I know what it is, and I'm happy with it. And I don't think I have too much. You know, everybody is gonna get some type of brain damage, and you know, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
That's true.
And but shit, if I get knocked out like 3 fights in a row and it's brutal, and I'm, you know, I can't sit in a room with lights on, that's when you got to quit, and then you got to go work hard at something else. But I want to do it as long as I feel comfortable. I still feel comfortable. I don't feel that I've taken too much, but there's no way. I got dropped on my head the other night, man. It's like I was trying to do a takedown, and dude reversed it. I landed on my head and got up and got on top.
And you're just like, that's one.
Yeah.
Count it.
That counts.
That counted.
motherfucker.
Write that up on the board.
Oh shit.
So what after fighting, you know, you've talked a little bit about saying, yeah, man, I got these things going on. So let's say you fight for another 5 years. And I know that's conservative because you'd be 31 years old. You could still easily go to your 40s if you wanted. You probably still have another 15 years if you wanted to. Or let's say you only had 5 years left. What are you looking to do at the end of that 5 years? You know, outside of fighting, are you wanting to open a gym? Are you wanting to coach? Are you wanting to do nothing to do involve? Or you want to keep this whole fighting thing as a hobby once you get done with fighting? And just
I don't
go
even
and
know what
pursue
an
something
economics
else?
degree does.
It
Do you
tells.
Man, it is my passion. I just have a passion for it, and I have a disdain for government intervention, and I have a passion for economics, and that was probably because of Ron Paul. He's who got me on it, and I'm not saying he's the best or this or that, but he's pretty damn good, and I love Ron Paul. That's who got me, because I didn't know what economics was. I didn't know why it was important, you know, and I just thought it was some boring shit some dude in a suit and tie does, you know.
And
I
it
don't
still
wanna do
is for
that.
the most part, but
But if people just had a firm understanding of economics and its principles, and just socialism versus capitalism, free market versus government intervention, I think a lot of shit would be different. You know, we wouldn't be paying so much money in taxes. I mean, I pay half my salary, it goes to taxes. You know, and most of the shit that the taxes do is just line politicians' pockets with money. It's capitalism, or it's not capitalism. It's
not true capitalism.
no, that's cronyism. When you got corporations funding campaigns, and when they turn around and make a law for that corporation, that's no longer capitalism.
I agree.
That's they would call it something like cronyism. You know, that's the most common term for it. For me, it's fucking socialism. It's all the same. It's got the same result. The result is a crippled fucking economy with a few fucking rich people and a bunch of fucking slaves. That's communism, socialism, cronyism, all the bullshit where the government takes shit and runs it and takes money out of your pocket. That leads to slavery and an elite class, you know?
Yeah.
And capitalism, it ain't perfect, but it's the best thing in preventing it. It's based off the fundamentals of capitalism is property ownership. Your fucking property, because it's yours.
Yeah.
We don't have property in this fucking country anymore.
What do you think about property tax in Arkansas?
That's what I'm saying, brother. We don't have property.
We didn't have it in Louisiana. We didn't have it.
If something, the true definition of property is it's yours.
Yeah.
Because it's yours. If you have a property tax, you're paying rent. You're paying fucking rent.
Yeah.
It's not yours. And if you miss a year of your rent, go miss a year of your fucking property taxes. You'll see whose property it is. It's the fucking government's. We don't own property. The basis of, everybody wants to say America is capitalist. Oh, we're capitalists. The basis of capitalism is your own fucking property. And we don't even have property because you tax your property. Okay. Tax is the same thing. It's a fucking paying rent. If you miss your rent, you don't have it. It's not, we don't have property. Okay. Maybe we have property to a higher degree than other countries because they have higher property taxes, but don't tell me we have property, because if you miss the payment on your property, it's not yours no more.
Right. So it's the opposite of property.
Yeah. I don't believe in property taxes.
Yeah, no, man. Like I said,
It's hard, yeah.
I grew up in Louisiana, so we didn't have this, you know. And
our country didn't for a long time.
Yeah,
we
of
didn't have an
course.
income tax for a long time.
Right, which
Didn't have a property tax for a long time. In fact, you could argue some of the most successful periods of this country development was was a more capitalistic government. You know?
Minus the tax situations.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have this income tax, I believe, till 1900s, maybe.
Yeah.
Early 1900s or late 1800s. We didn't have income tax. Probably early 1900s.
Well, you know, income tax is supposed to be taxes you pay on money that comes from profit earned from business. It's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to tax the income that you earn from your job. You know what I mean? So the initial intent for income tax was you open a business, you make a shit ton of money off that business, and then you give a little bit to the government, which is still pretty shitty. It was never supposed to be a situation where you go to work every day and you work for that money, and then, oh, by the way, you're going to give us a percentage of it, right? Yeah, and supposedly it's illegal to charge a property tax, but I've heard that the IRS doesn't like it when you try not to do that. So
Yeah, exactly.
Did you watch it?
I tried to punch the IRS in the face one time.
Did you watch Luis Peña's fight as well?
I did, man. I thought he was a better fighter.
Yeah.
I think he's a better fighter, no doubt. If those dudes fought till one of them died, Luis would probably kill him. But you know, you're not. You're fighting for 3 rounds, and you're fighting to win points. At the
He's
got
to play the game.
And that guy just played the game a little bit better, in my opinion, because and because of the 3rd round. That's why. Because Luis came out looking great. It wasn't until the 3rd round when he didn't apply pressure. And he moved him backwards, but man, I would have told him to let his power hand go more because he can hit hard with that left.
He's left-handed, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he's left-handed, but he's got a good straight left, a good long straight left. I mean, he can reach it from farther than most people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And I would have been just yelling in that corner, left, because I just would have liked to see him more. And that's also the hand that hits harder.
Right.
And he applied the pressure good in the 3rd round by walking him down, but he just should have thrown more.
Just higher volume.
Because that dude was fucked. I mean, he really was. He came out in that 2nd round. It was ugly for him at the end. He's not fully recovered when the 3rd round starts. And so I would have told Luis, this is where you put him away. And I think that just in his head, he was thinking, I'm winning rounds 1 and 2.
So
and so
that's a dangerous place to be.
And man, and I would have just told him, man, you got to finish this shit. Go out there and finish. He's already fucked up. This dude's, you're gonna put him out. And he was at the beginning of the round. At the beginning of that 3rd round, that dude was in bad shape, but he circled, he dodged what little punches was coming in, he dodged them, recovered, and then saved up enough energy for a big ass double leg, and that's going to win you the round. Whether or not the double leg actually does any damage to
octagon
Luis,
control, right?
It's control. And damage. Luis did way more damage than that dude. He fucked that dude up, but the other dude controlled him. He got like 4 or 5 big takedowns. The judges look at that, and you can't blame them.
Damage is such a subjective thing too. You can, like if I see it from one angle and you see it from another, it's the Muhammad Ali, or not Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston thing. We only have one angle of that, and it looks like he missed in that punch, or it doesn't look like a hard punch. But I'll bet you if you were there ringside, you were like, oh damn, that was fast. So it's kind of perspective, and it's hard to rate damage. How much damage did the person take? What if they don't show?
Of it truly knows.
Yeah, and right. And what if the person, what if he's just good at playing it off? What if
like
he's
Gracie?
That's what I was getting ready to say, man. That dude,
poker face right there.
When that dude was getting smacked in the stomach, it made me want to throw up and shit my pants at the same time.
It's all those breathing exercises.
That's
for sure, bro.
Yeah,
for sure. That breathing.
His dude. So those would have put anybody else away, in my opinion, with those body shots like that.
And here's what makes him even worse is he was applying constant pressure, which means you're walking into it.
Yeah,
you're constantly walking into hard body shots, some of the most painful shots. Not even giving a shit,
So, did you
just grabbing him, trying to clinch?
Did you watch the fight? Did you get to watch the actual fight?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I saw that one, and I missed the main event. That's the only one.
Okay, yeah, I didn't watch the main event either because it's female MMA fighters. So.
I didn't watch any of it.
I wanted to, man. I had to wrestle this morning. I was like, man, I'm gonna get some good sleep and just want to get some sleep.
Yeah,
those are
the girl fighters. The girl fights are always way better, dude. They're nuts. They just go.
Now, what I don't like, this is what I don't like, because you see this in MMA all the time. is this is what I don't like about it. It's just part of the game. I understand they're all about the money. They're all about the marketing, and that's all what it is. It's all the money. Okay, but part of the reason I do this too is just to who's truly the best. That's the main focus. We want to see who the best is.
Right.
And they'll take a girl fight because they're two girls, and they'll bump them up to the main card, and they'll bump down some veterans, fucking veterans. They'll bump down two dudes who are just known veterans, killers, show up, work hard as fuck every day, and they'll bump it down for these girl fights because we're now promoting. It should just be, that's the only thing that I've seen. And also I'll say this, it probably happens the other way around too. I don't know.
Sure.
Maybe. But I'm a guy, so I notice shit like this, and I'm like, these fucking women
I think
are getting our shit, man.
Once
they're
you get
getting
to,
us.
once
and
you
they're
get,
better looking than us. They're more
That's a fact.
marketable, and now they're just bumping us down to put these fucking women up here.
Well, in today's society, Bryce, you can say that you're a woman, and we'll put you on a main card.
Some damn, they have trannies now.
Yeah.
Beating up chicks.
I don't know how that's not. I don't know why that's not considered to be a performance enhancing situation.
Oh, it should be illegal.
Because if you tested Gabby Garcia's testosterone, it's going to be the same as a dude's.
Yeah.
So, and she's cheating when she does it. Why? That doesn't make any sense.
She fought a grandma, man.
Well,
She's
Gabby
fought several
Garcia also
grandmas.
has
That was.
they've been setting those up. Yeah.
That girl bounced off the ropes, though. That's
That was
you know what I
horrible.
mean.
Yeah, that
You
fight was.
remember that
It's
one?
rough to watch. I don't want to see
is.
it. You know, like it's.
It is, but
Well, I think that
Damn.
that old Asian lady thought she was in the middle of a pro wrestling match. I don't think she realized, like,
no.
oh, this gigantic woman's going to punch me in the mouth.
And that's in Japan. They probably
Yeah,
swindled
they do
her
some
up
weird
into that.
shit, man.
Hey, man, the Yakuza runs a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're called.
The Yakuza, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, man.
There's
It's the mafia for Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The triads are in
Yeah,
China.
triads are in
right?
China.
Is that China?
I think so. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to piss either one of them off.
But man,
No,
I mean, that
I
shit
wouldn't
goes
either.
on all the time. Getting paid a duffel bag of money, and hey, don't say nothing.
Yeah.
and
right.
you know,
You're
in
gonna
Gabby,
lose in the second.
in Gabby Garcia's defense, if you search hard enough on the internet, you can see pictures of her dick. So
How much is Bryce? How much is have things changed? I mean, like, just what are some of the shocking things that have changed for you, or things that kind of a culture shock as far as since you've been in the UFC? I've always wondered what, like, doing these lower level shows to mid level regional shows and then jumping into the UFC. What are those big differences when you're backstage and how they treat you, stuff like that? Like, I mean, is there anything that was just kind of threw you off and was stunning?
There's a lot of local shows. There's some local shows that are really nicely run,
Yeah.
and I have nothing bad to say. I mean,
Right,
nothing but
right.
good to say about them. They got water bottles, they got little snacks, they got granola bars, they got fruit gummies, bananas, oranges. It's VIP back there.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I've definitely fought in some bars where my head's gonna hit the ceiling if I jump up. And there's
Yeah.
cigarette smoke, and I fought in parking lots with the damn sun coming down in my eyes.
Yeah. Did you
fight?
fight in the parking lot when Mr. Dring would throw those? You remember those
No,
charity?
I heard the legend.
Like, you
the
could
legends about it.
you could bring like can donations to get in.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they would
That
do it
was
in a
your entry
parking
to
lot.
fight?
No.
Oh.
Entry to watch.
Oh.
But it was like in a parking lot. It was a big fundraiser, and
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought outdoor fights are just, you can't do them.
the worst.
It's not a good idea.
Hey, Sun Tzu, in the Art of War, that
Yeah,
book he
I
wrote.
love that book.
he said,
Yeah.
you fight the enemy with the sun to your back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, because it's in his eyes, not yours.
That
Exactly.
holds true to this day. If
So
you're
you've-
fighting outside, that's.
You've had
What
some
you wanna
experience
do?
with some outdoor shows.
I mean, you can't see when the sun's coming up in your eyes. You really can't. You're gonna want to circle. I mean, if you're grappling, it don't matter. But
Yeah.
if you're striking with the dude, you're gonna want to circle.
It's an added element.
That definitely.
Yeah.
And if there's any moisture, okay, your kicks just went to shit. If
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to not get taken down,
Mhm.
don't be kicking if there's moisture out. Because I've seen shows where it's the canvas is
You're
wet.
sliding all over the place.
Oh, the UFC, its canvases, they're the best.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
always
Yeah.
wanted to know, like, is it like a felt type canvas, or is it like slick? Like,
Slick. So
Is it-
most of these amateur shows, they're pretty slick, especially the logos.
so like what we have at Westside, like
Yeah.
that padding in the cage there, like that's what most low level stuff is.
Yeah, and the Yeah. Most of it is.
And then
like
what's
that.
the UFC's material? Is it more of a
bro.
carpeted type?
It's the grippy. You ever run
carpet.
y'all run on a track like a high school?
Oh,
college
yeah,
track?
yeah.
You know, not the turf, but the
track itself.
The track itself.
Yeah.
It feels like that on the bottom of your feet, but feels more squishy than one of those mats. 'Cause
Really?
those are some good hard mats, you know, but they're soft. I know what those mats feel like
Yeah.
because I just know I've
Yeah.
grappled on those mats.
You might have actually trained on those exact mats.
Yeah, it's a pretty good
But
chance.
I
Did you
can
get
just
those
tell
from
by
Westside?
looking at them.
No.
I can just tell by looking at them. Those are a harder mat than what the UFC. So it's a little bit soft. They're really grippy and a little bit soft. And there was a karate guy on the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, just fucking awesome dude, man. His name's Ricky.
I thought it was Chuck Norris. Sorry. Go ahead.
And I remember because it was both our first UFC fights or exhibition fights, whatever. And he's like, man, this is a kicker's canvas. That's what he called it. He called it a
Okay, yeah,
kicker's canvas. And when he felt that grip on his foot, he said, man, this is a kicker's canvas. Like I'm sure in Taekwondo, he'd probably been on some shitty
Yeah,
mats,
yeah,
you know, and just
yeah.
fell down. And
That's because he's doing a shitty martial art.
yeah, I mean, it's got its elements, you know, it does. I use a lot of karate, taekwondo, but it's mixed martial arts, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not the
exactly.
only-
We
it's
had a
not the
good
only
conversation
thing.
last episode about that.
And here's something about, you know, you got to take into account when you're talking about karate, you're talking about taekwondo or whatever. I get the two of them jumbled up.
Me too.
But you got to remember, we're in America.
Mm-hmm.
What you see is a watered down motherfucking
Sure.
daycare. You see a motherfucking daycare. There's people that practice taekwondo in the world and even in this country, but especially throughout the world. I mean, they're fucking legit, brother.
Mm-hmm.
They put motherfuckers out.
Joe
you know?
Rogan was a legit
Yeah.
Taekwondo guy.
Yeah.
There's videos on YouTube of him knocking motherfuckers
You
out
know,
with
but,
back kicks.
But most of this shit around here, just
Yeah. Sorry.
hell yeah, brother. Most of it's just watered down around
Yeah.
here. You know, it's a daycare. The
That's
parents,
an interesting way of putting it, man.
they'll charge you for belts.
That's yeah.
You know.
We had
Is this
talked
too
about
close, or
that.
do I need to move it back?
No, you're perfect,
No,
man.
you're
Okay,
good.
it's
You're
good.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never thought about it like that with the daycare thing, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're taking that's a combat sport, right? It's a combat sport where you should be teaching someone to defend themselves. And you're right, man. Those lower classes, the kids classes like that, it's a glorified daycare.
Well, why you
know?
think they got 12 belts and they charge for every one of them?
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah.
your belts ought to be
We've
free.
talked a lot about that on
Yeah,
here.
we have an affinity for bullshit martial artists.
Yes.
Not bullshit martial arts per se. I'm not saying Taekwondo is a bullshit martial art, like you said.
absolutely.
You know,
a lot of it is.
our coaches.
A lot of this watered down, what you see around here. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
a lot of it
Even
is.
even the stuff that we've talked about this as well. This stuff, a lot of the katas and the forms have a use, just not necessarily with your hands.
Right.
You know,
A lot of
you
them are
might
weapon-oriented.
have a sword in your. They
Yeah,
might have been developed for a
exactly.
sword. Stuff that we don't
Exactly.
use.
That's stuff that we
Yeah,
don't use.
a karate chop looks a lot like a sword strike whenever you put a sword in your
That's
hand.
exactly what it is when you start training sword. I mean, I've trained some sword fighting. You know?
I'm not gonna say that I'm the
you
best,
know.
but I've
It
been
was off the
around.
record.
You know, I'm not like Russell Crowe and Gladiator.
Yeah,
Have you
dude.
seen the gladiator fighting, like the real?
Yeah,
gladiator,
yeah,
dude. That stuff is
savage.
fucking brutal.
That metal suit. That's one of the most brutal ones with the metal suit.
Yeah.
I seen this dude get knocked out in a suit, but the ref was way too inexperienced. He didn't know when you get knocked out, it gets you go stiff. Well, this motherfucker
Right.
went stiff in a metal suit.
How do you know he's stiff?
Well, he ain't moving. Bro. He just stopped. He just stopped to defend himself, but his arms and his legs looked as if it was a conscious person
Yeah.
because they're in this like weird ass crippled position.
Right.
But he ain't moving. And so I
The
know-
ref probably thought it was actually like a move. He was like, "Oh, he's just doing the statue."
Was the ref Herb
And
Dean?
this dude's
Was it
got his
Herb Lights Out
shield.
Dean?
He's got this shield just ramming. the
Jesus
shield.
Christ.
Yeah,
He's
those are.
taking the shield. That would be the. I would use.
How
that,
is it
you know?
legal?
How is that legal?
How can they do
don't know
that
if it is in
anywhere?
America.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done in a different country.
It has to be.
be
I
done
don't
in
think it's done
Russia
America.
for
It's
sure.
definitely in Russia. I've seen
Yeah.
him.
That sounds like a Russian thing for
I've
sure.
seen him in Russia.
Oh yeah, they do the M1 Globals. That's who puts it on. Is M1 Global.
Speaking of which, you went and spent. Was it Russia that you went?
Serbia.
Serbia. Yeah, you
very
went to Serbia
similar
to the
culture to
judo
Russia.
and did some judo out there, didn't you?
Absolutely, man. I mean, I loved it, and of course, I love the training. But,
Yeah,
I mean, man, the people
super good people.
super. I mean, can't say enough good about these people. Took me and treated me like family.
It's awesome.
And they got their thick Serbian accents, you know,
Yeah.
and they're just like, "My brother, you will eat good while you are
Oh,
here."
that's
you know?
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
like, man, it's just.
So they took good care of you then.
Super good care of me,
Yeah.
man. Like I hope one of them comes back. I'm gonna go hog hunting with my host down there.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Philip. I met him at school.
And you met him at Henderson?
Harding.
Harding. Oh, fuck. We'll edit that out.
Both of them are H's.
Yeah.
Is that a private Christian school?
Yeah,
too?
I think so.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why they
That's
get
why I
mixed
got
up
them
a
mixed
lot.
So you guys you were going to Harding together. You were in college
sir.
together, and that's how you met.
Well, what's crazy is we both got business degrees. He's got his. He's already graduated, got a good job out in Houston. But so after Christmas break, we're gonna go hog hunting. I promised him I'm gonna take you hog hunting. And
Does he know he gets to use a gun? Because he's from Serbia, so he probably thinks you're going to do it with your hands.
yeah,
You're gonna have to wrestle it.
Sorry, it's the rules.
How'd you get? So you got hooked up through school? Rude. Rude.
You guys didn't hear that.
We'll edit around that. No, so you got hooked up through somebody at school, and so he linked you up with somebody else, or you were training out there, right?
So we went to school together for probably 3 or 4 years, walking by each other every day. You know, I don't talk to no.
Right,
If I run into him, I talk to him. You know, and I'm always super nice to everybody. But you know, I just don't talk to everybody. So we're
Right.
walking by each other all the time. I think we actually met in Barada.
Okay, yeah.
So
At your gym.
yeah, so we meet there, and then he tells me, you know, I go to school in the same building. He said, I see you around school all the time, and I've been hitting head too many times. But you know, I've probably seen him a bunch of times too. And then, sure enough, next day at school, seen him. Ever since then, we've been talking. He invites me over. He even fairly close to like knowing him. I've probably known him for a couple weeks, you know, and was just training him and just telling him and training different moves, like really jujitsu moves and stuff, because their culture over there is more judo based, and that's a lot different than the jujitsu. So he was in heavy need of jujitsu defenses, in heavy need of them. So that's, you know, I was really focusing with him, and he says, you know, why don't you come over here to my house in Serbia, and you know, I know some people, Olympic gold medalists.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
the best in the world, man. Just like, you know, once you reach like that freaking level, man, or something, there's only a handful of people. I don't think that there is one like best in the world, but he's top tier. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's amongst that group that is the best in the world. His name is Alexander. Can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his last name. Can't pronounce it. That's a beautiful name.
It's actually
it's Serbian. Yeah.
They call him the Golden Boy.
The Golden Boy.
Look up the Golden Boy.
Alexander the Golden Boy. Can't pronounce
on
it.
YouTube. He's got. I mean, man, he's an incredible coach as well. I mean, I would consider him as a host as well. He wasn't a person I was staying with, but the way he treated me was like freaking royalty, man. Was like showing me all these moves, just catering to me, man. And one of the coolest things he did, this is Olympic champ, man. You got to have respect for these dudes. Like I said, they're amongst the highest,
highest level.
tier,
Yeah.
you know, and he's up in a spa. I've never been to a spa in my damn life. Says,
Not even in hot springs.
yeah, get those natural spas out there, brother. That's why they call it hot springs. 'Cause They got the hot water that boils.
Yeah.
But
They get mad if you pee in those. I found out.
Well, you're not supposed to tell them. That's the.
No, they
that's the
figured it
trick.
out real quick.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't pee in it.
Does the water turn like green or whatever whenever you pee in it? I'm always like scared about that at the pool.
I know. And then you realize it's impossible because every pool in the world would just be green all the time.
Right. I'd never thought about
Yeah.
it until your story in the last episode about how you peed a
Peed
little
my
bit.
pants.
And then,
That's
that's exactly what I do in pools to test that theory. I'll pee a little bit, make sure there's like no blue spot,
Look around.
a red spot that pops up around me, and then I'm like, okay, a little
All
bit
right, time to
more.
let it go.
Yeah.
Then you get too comfortable and take a shit.
And then, oh no, there's a brown spot.
There's a brown spot
They
in
do
there.
have stuff.
Oh, look at this. This piss turned into a shit stain.
And that's how fast an episode can decline.
So, talking about gold medalist,
Yeah, I want to match a black belt.
which I haven't done yet.
I don't know if you've heard.
So Johnny's got me beat on the amount of black belt matches that we've won. How many black belt matches have you had?
2.
2. So I've had 2 as well, and I've also lost both of them.
I BJJF or
Mine-
Pan Ams.
No, yours were.
AGF and then Sub Hunter Pro.
Oh, then I've got more than you. So I have more experience than you. That's good.
Yeah.
No, I lost my fight at Fight to Win, and then I lost my fight at IBJJF, both gi and no gi, against the same guy who fights in the UFC, actually. Any other day I'd remember his name, but he got kicked out of ONE FC for doing steroids. Now he fights for the UFC.
Oh, it seems like the natural progression.
And he was super fucking tough. Diego Fajeda is his name, I think. Fajeda, something like that. Rolly knew who he was. I didn't. And Rolly made sure to tell me after the fight. He was like, yeah, I didn't want to tell you who he was because I didn't want you to get all freaked out. And then I found out afterwards, and I was like, man, I'm going to whoop his ass tomorrow. But I didn't. And then I lost my fight to Eric Ingram. So I'm on a...
Oh, I know Eric.
Yeah.
He's great, man.
He's a super good dude.
He's good, too.
He's okay at jiu-jitsu. He's not really good, but he's okay.
I'm done with
crafty.
sound effects. I'm not doing sound
Motherfucker's
effects
got some
anymore.
good judo.
He's got really good judo. But you know what's awesome about the whole situation dealing with that? Speaking of judo gold medalists, I threw him on his head. It's on
Hell
video.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
but what else?
Eric Ingram, excuse me, Mitch is an Olympic gold medalist now.
Well,
Here's the thing about judo. The judo, I like it, and actually I love it.
I do too. It's amazing when you get like a good throw.
it hurts too much.
And it's probably one of the worst things that I'm at. But I've got a few things that I'm confident. And it's straight up judo, and I'm confident. Like I can do.
You got a pretty good overhook hip throw too. Like
Yeah,
you catch that
I really
overhook,
do.
That's the one.
that whizzer over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
dude.
You did that to Jacob Hobby. He had a huge one in that fight.
I like that one, but it's something that you can't really force. It's just when it comes about, it comes about. So
Right.
it's not. I'm not ever. I'm gonna
looking for
throw this guy because if somebody has a firm understanding of how to defend it and you're trying to force it, they'll probably win. You know, and so it's something you kind of bait them into and
Yeah.
wait to just a perfect time. It's that little weapon you just throw out of nowhere.
Can you imagine competing in the Olympics? Like if we all, so you fight, you lose. You know what? You'll be like, fuck, I'm gonna train harder. I'll get the next one. In a couple of months, I'll fight again. I'll win that one. You know, we do jiu-jitsu. I lose a match. I go back and I try harder. And in a couple of months, I'll win. At the Olympics,
Then you have to wait
if you
4
fucking
years.
lose in the finals, you have to wait 4 years to try to do it again.
Yeah, but it's not like that's the only thing that you're doing.
It's the only thing that they want to do.
Right. I mean, like that's
It's
the
the
highest
main-
level.
Yeah, I didn't mean that they were
They're
going to
gonna
take an
stay
entire
busy.
4 years off
Yeah.
from training.
But yeah,
I just
come back
it's
into it.
the main goal.
Yeah,
Like,
to
that's-
redeem that loss, you
There's
have to
some
wait
fighters that
4
try that.
years. Yeah.
And here's another element of that shit, man, which I really don't like, but it's the only way to do it because you got all these countries and shit organized. It's just you have to do it. Like you have to do the tournament style.
Yeah.
You have to do it, and life ain't fair. The Olympics will teach you life ain't fair because you're gonna be going in a tournament, and you might go, which somebody just shit is. Just you're gonna have 3 hard matches, and the dude that you go against in the semifinals is gonna have 3 easy matches because he got his 3 best pins right off the bat that
Yeah.
year. Or
He
you
got the
waited-
bye in a division.
You felt great for 4 years training, and then 3
Boom.
years,
It's all
and,
done.
and 300 something 50 days comes around, and then you start feeling sick.
yeah.
You got sick. Well, you had to go sick. You had to fucking fight in a tournament against a dude who was fresh. I mean, but you just have to not give a fuck.
Yep.
It'll teach you. It
Yep.
don't matter. Like, if you win one of those, I got respect for that because you're just grinding through some shit that, you know.
Oh yeah,
And
most
none of
Olympic
them
gold
go in
medal-
healthy.
No, that's what I was
No.
gonna say. Most, especially in judo, box, any gold medalist in that respect, you're going in injured. It's just the degree of which you're injured.
Right.
Can you imagine a judo Olympic room? You know, just like
Everybody
going
in there
that
is
training.
Olympic. Oh
Yeah,
When I
all
was
the
over
training
there-
partners. Did you get to go to one?
Judo?
Like an Olympic training
The
center or whatever?
The facility in Serbia, the Olympic judo facility, it's located in the mountains.
Oh, okay.
For the elevation.
Oh,
because
yeah.
It train your lungs as well. So that's where they did that. I was just at sea level, just training at the gym. Olympics was a pretty far time away.
Yeah.
So they weren't
They
up
may
there.
not-
They
they weren't
weren't up
ramping up.
there yet, but they're gonna be up there. And they said, you need to come up here.
Wow.
When we hit the center, come on up. He said you're gonna live there, and it's far less distracting.
Oh,
because-
yeah.
Did they get you in the gi? Did you do any judo in the
Oh,
gi?
dude.
Bryce is tough to catch in the gi.
Dude.
Yeah,
I
I've
feel
never seen him
special.
one.
I've rolled with him a handful of times in the gi.
Well, we're talking jujitsu.
Yeah. But
And
Still, you don't see Bryce in a gi much.
The
No.
judo though, bro, man, the gi changes
Oh yeah, right.
everything, man. The judo gi. Now here's the thing though, is we took the gi off. They were, like I said, these guys were so nice to me, man. They don't ever do no gi, compete no gi. That is, they just strictly judo Olympic, gi champions. They'll take the fucking gi off and go no gi with me as much as I want. But I wanted to do some gi with them.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to feel it.
I wanted to feel it, man.
Yeah.
That fucked me up. This 16-year-old kid threw me, man, head over heels. 16-year-old kid. I really didn't even know the rule. I still don't know the rules. I have a better understanding of them. And it's just a little niche, and when those people, it's a small component of mixed martial arts, just like every martial art is. It's a small, but man, it is what they're good at. They're fucking good at. And here's the thing, they're not encouraged to get up once they hit the ground. So say you get thrown, you don't get points for getting up. You don't get any points for getting up. You just would lose points if you get submitted. So basically, once you hit that ground, it's basically a survive mentality, because if you why would you waste all your energy getting up? I'm gonna get the same amount of points by just keeping it in a tight frame, not getting up, but defending myself from submissions. So, but when you go into a real fight, what do you want to do? You want to get the fuck up. So
there's a lot of people though that whenever people are starting to punch them, whenever people are starting to hunt for submissions, that they'll just completely shell up. They'll just you can't hit them because they're just, like turtle position is a really tough position to punch people in sometimes. Somebody doesn't want to get hit on the ground. It can be tough.
But man, that turtle, you can even punch through the gloves.
Oh yeah.
You can punch through the gloves and you can sneak an uppercut up in there. And if you really want to stay turtle, like GSP, he'll separate knee and the ribs. And then if you don't want to move, okay, you just eat some knees and the ribs, but then you'll roll over.
Right.
Yeah, then you'll roll over and he'll continue punching you from a better. And he'll get in your guard or he'll get in half guard, but turtling up, no, man.
I don't know
you don't
why
want to do that shit.
No.
I don't know why more people didn't do that turtle knee thing, because the first time I ever saw George St. Pierre do that was against Matt Serra. Matt Serra had turtled up in their rematch, right? So he got knocked out by Matt Serra, came back to rematch him. And I remember watching that. I was just like, God damn. And I'm like, why don't more people do that?
It gives up position.
Yeah, you have to give up quite a bit of space in order to do it.
If they come up and you accidentally clip them in the head or something, now you're...
Oh, no, I'm not. Dude, that'd be great. If they come up, as soon as their fucking fingers, and if they're on the way up and you time it, that's what you want.
Sure.
When somebody's down and they're looking to get up, you're looking right to hit him when them fingers come up. You want to hit him in the face. The thing is, though, you create space, and it needs to be on somebody who's who is fatigued. And you need to be doing it on a fatigued opponent. If somebody's fresh and full of energy and you're tight, you're holding them, and you let go of that tightness to push them away to create the space to knee, you've created the space for them to escape as well. So it's like they might not. They might. I'm not saying everybody's going to escape, but if they're full of energy and they see a big knee coming, they'll probably move.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so that's why you don't see it a lot. I would only do it if I've just completely just broken somebody's just body down and they're tired, and I know, okay, I've got enough energy, and if he gets back up, I'll take him right back down. I'm doing real good right now. I can do that. That's when I would do something like that. I typically would just keep my back control as long as I could.
Yeah, you don't want to give up. That makes perfect sense.
I can tell you one thing I'm getting sick and tired of is Bryce trying to
choke me.
No, do the fucking, what is that goddamn, you do it all the time to me. It's that Eddie Bravo move that got real
Twister.
The Twister.
The Twister, yeah.
That's 90% of mine and Bryce's
I remember
training.
whenever you started getting into that, Bryce goes, I'm gonna Twister a lot this round.
And
sure enough, he did.
The last time I trained with Bryce, I spent the whole round fighting that off, right? Because with Bryce, I'm just trying to get an underhook and come up. Get an underhook and come
I
up.
love some underhooks.
Dude, because you got good forward pressure with that knee slice position type deal.
Thank you, brother. And the reason I started having to do that knee slice a lot, because the ground game is so, or not, the footlock thing is so good
Yeah.
at Westside, and that
Yeah.
knee split. If you let them have inside double leg control and you can't punch them, you can punch them. I don't care. I'll take it all day. But actually, in a jiu-jitsu match, I don't want to be in somebody's butterfly guard.
Yeah.
In an MMA fight, this is fine. I'm comfortable here. You're gonna take a lot of damage, and as soon as you reach for my foot, there goes your defense. I'm gonna punch you. But in a jiu-jitsu match, I like that foot down the middle because then it shuts down that whatever they call it. I call it a reap, the Ochigari.
Yeah, the single leg X and then the Sotogar, or not the Uchigari. Is it Uchigari? Who fucking cares?
But I call
Did
it
you
the
say
reap.
Gucci?
I call it the reap. You know,
I don't
where
know.
you
I don't
reap
know
that
what it's
leg
called.
over. If you put something in the middle, you've taken out some of their.
I talk about it all the time when I'm teaching guard passing is if you cut your opponent in half, then now you can. That's how you should start guard passing. That's kind of my.
You guys
intro
are cutting opponents in half?
Yep, literally, figuratively, and literally.
I thought we weren't using swords.
Bryce brings 2 swords every class.
I'm a black belt in something else. I don't.
So the last time Bryce and I trained, he put me in the twister, and I spent, goddamn, I don't know, 5 minutes the whole time and he eventually got it right because he always does. And I just remember thinking like, motherfucker. And Bryce was like, man, you made me tired. Like my neck hurts right now.
Like, you just did that. You just did
know
your
what?
impression of Bryce
I
right
do
to his
remember-
face.
I
I
do
did.
remember that.
Yeah, because we were over on the other side
I
of
do
the match.
remember being tired.
Dude,
Because
I
I
was
do
tired.
remember being tired.
I was fucking
I
tired.
had that left hand around the head, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just he was giving me hell, and that's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do from there. I mean, and
It's actually the technical advice.
and
You
give
give
him
him
Give
hell.
him hell. Dude.
And I'm trying to get my hands, and this doesn't happen with a lot of people. I get my hands locked and I'm squeezing it, and then he'll break my grip on my hands. Usually when I get that lock, man, it's.
Oh man, your grips are insane. Yeah.
Well-
But he's breaking my grip, and I'm having a fight for. I mean, it was a damn battle. It was all forearms, you know.
Dude, my forearms were pretty bloated out after that too, and I was defending the whole time. What I normally do when he puts me there is I tickle his balls, and then he lets go. He just lets go.
But not that time.
It's weird. I couldn't reach him. I was
He's
trying
never let go for me when I do that. It's like he wants me
the
there.
submission gets tighter.
It gets tighter. Everything gets tighter on my hips. Yeah.
This is a good time. We have some shout outs that we
Oh,
have
we
to-
gotta do
we
some
have a
shout-outs?
shout out.
Oh yeah. So we normally do. So we do shout outs because we have people that donate to our Patreon.
They pay us money to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
We don't ever get to
stupid.
see the money. We
Hell
just,
yeah.
but anytime somebody signs up for the Patreon, we always give them a shout out so that they know that. And actually, the guy's one of our guys.
Yeah, Christian Davis.
Yeah, Christian Davis.
Christian Davis. Yeah, thank you.
He's one of my 6 a.m. guys. He comes into my 6 a.m. class a lot. White belt, super tough kid, man. He's one of those guys that you never would have thought would have started training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Right? He plays in a band. It's called the Beatles or something. I can't remember what the name
The
of it is.
Beatles.
But
It's like some culturally relevant band.
he plays in a band. He's a singer for the band, and
Linkin Park.
it's that's what it was. And it
I
was
like some Linkin Park.
Bryce is
I
in on
don't
it.
know a lot of bands, but I do like Linkin
What about Nickelback? You like Nickelback?
Park. Well, man, I went in the other day to return an item, and they wouldn't give me my nickel back.
You know what? That's a Danny
You're
Golf
gonna be a
joke.
you're gonna be a great
Shout
dad
out to
one day.
Danny Golf.
You're gonna be a great
actually,
dad one day, Bryce.
That's right.
Because I get on YouTube videos and I'll play a video, and I like to look at the comments. 'Cause I don't have any social media, but I do enjoy reading the comments just to see the general. What's the general consensus on
Right.
this amongst these?
I'm gonna let you in on a secret. That's the worst place to find those. Find out.
And so everybody talks shit about Nickelback.
They do, but I think they're a great band.
I got this one. It's like shit. I can't remember.
Most people can't either.
It's a photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This photograph.
Yeah.
So
I
now,
like
see,
that.
now we have to ask
ain't-
for rights to use that song.
Oh yeah. No, you can do your own rendition of the
Okay.
song.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Have you seen the meme? The only thing I can think of when I see that is the meme where
What's
the
a
guy's
bunch of photographs?
no, he's holding up a graph and he says, "Look at this math."
He's allowed to do it because he changed the lyric.
Yeah.
It's an interpretation. No, Nickelback has nailed down the mathematical equation to writing a hit song. Like whether you want to call them a shitty ass band or not, those motherfuckers can write a catchy song. And Johnny's a snob when it comes to music.
Is there steam coming out of my ears yet? I'm trying really hard not to be a hater because I'm being labeled as a hater from this podcast, but you're making it really fucking difficult for me.
I like how I labeled you already, and you're like, I'm going to fight this.
Yeah.
Well, you have to at least admit that the songs are catchy.
Yeah, I will admit that, they're earworms. They'll get stuck in your head if you're not careful.
You know how you get Nickelback out of your head? You find one of Johnny's shitty bands and you listen to it.
Yeah, you can do that too. I was about to go way on the deep end of that one. Okay.
You have a band?
I'm just talking about his shitty music that he listens to.
Oh, that too.
No, Johnny and I listen to almost identical music.
Are you a drummer?
No, I played bass in a couple bands, a couple like in Arkansas, and then I moved to California whenever I was 18 to play music in a band out there. And then you see how well that worked out.
You know, I give Johnny a lot of shit and make fun of him for going out and being unsuccessful, but there's a lot of motherfuckers that only talked about doing it. You know what I mean? So I give Johnny a lot of shit on the show, and we go back and forth. But the truth
I was dumb enough to do it.
Dude, you say you're dumb enough to do it, but you know, there's a lot of people that are 38, 39 years old that wish they did.
Well, I had a support system. See? You know, my parents had I not had my parents, I would have got stuck out there and been a homeless person out there.
Which still isn't a bad life.
No, I mean, like, it's nice. It's nice weather.
Danny Goff, he says they're giving, in California, right?
Mm-hmm.
He says they're giving out needles to the, is this true?
So they're clean needles. Yeah.
Right. So
but
there's
they're giving out needles to, who gets these needles?
Drug addicts.
Oh shit, he's right.
Yep.
You know, Dan, he sometimes he'll get on these political rants and I'm like, everybody's biased, you know, so I heard, he said the other day, they're giving out needles.
Mm-hmm. They've been doing it since the 90s, though.
These junkies, and I've already heard on the news about how all these needles are washing up offshore and shit. And then Dan says that, but so it's for sure. They're
doing it. Brings down the
HIV
level of disease and stuff like that because they're using clean needles instead of used needles. So it's like like condoms.
So the idea is that all right, drugs are bad.
Okay, this is
drugs are bad.
This is also an issue of economics, and you can say that it's not, but it involves the taxpayer's dollar.
Right. Oh, you're talking about
it is when you break down what is the philosophy of government. We have such a lack of understanding of just the philosophy of the government. You know, it's what is the role of the government, and my idea is not to hand out needles to junkies.
No, that's not the idea for anybody to do.
If the junkies are getting these needles, they shouldn't even be handing out needles. And that's what charities are for. That's what churches are for. If there's some problem where somebody,
I can agree with
that.
Our nation is dying. The people are dying because we don't have enough needles. I guarantee you a charity pops up. I guarantee you a church
there are
pops
a lot
up. I guarantee you something local pops up. There's no need
and there
for
are
the
some
government
local
to be taking junky needle money out of your taxes. It's just another. And guess
that's
what?
actually what it says on the thing. It says junky needle money.
Exactly. When they earmark it, that's how they label it. Junky needle money. And guess what? Here's the funny thing.
Mitch need money too.
I bet you if you add up all the junky needle money and all the
that's
money,
our next t-shirt.
and all the you add up all that junky needle money, and then you add up all the salaries of the politicians who are getting their hands on that money before it trickles down, because the money don't just go from taxpayers to junky needle money. It goes from this guy to that guy to that guy, the suit and tie wearing cock sucking motherfuckers. They all get their hand on the money, and then they all say, "Oh, but we've got such a problem with our junkies."
You think those ties have needles on them?
They need their clean needles. They need clean needles. We're doing this for the benefit of humanity. No, they're making commission off of it. We'll call it what you want. It's commission. They make their commission off the junky needle money.
What they probably should do
is what it is.
They should probably just give them free heroin too.
That's what I'm saying. Why not just give them the free junk too? Because
that's what pisses me off about drug dealers is they don't pay taxes.
There's a lot of dirty junk out there, man. There's a lot of dirt. You getting bad chemicals in your heroin. Why don't we just give them clean heroin? Why don't we just give them the clean cocaine? Why don't we just give them the clean meth? You know,
there's one thing I can't stand is dirty cocaine. I can't.
I don't disagree with you, Bryce, on the politicians, right? Like all of that, and obviously they'll make these laws and stuff in order to do those things. But there are charities that do that kind of thing. But the thing that I noticed most was that it's in California. Mm-hmm. Like they don't have it in Arkansas because we haven't voted to allow it in Arkansas.
Right.
So the people of California, hopefully the people of California are the ones that voted it in, right? Yeah. The problem that I have is there's a lot there in that bill to do that.
The watermarks.
Right? Yeah, they were probably
Or
trying.
earmarks.
They had the idea had good intentions, right? We want to give out needles to prevent disease, the spread of
Yeah.
disease, right? Which turns into if we buy this many needles, we get a discount, and we can take that percentage and start lining our pockets with it. Or in this bill, we can push a couple other ideas.
and that's how it's presented to people.
right.
That's how it's presented. Let me tell you something. There's every time a decision is made, there's a right reason,
And there's a whole bunch of wrong reasons.
and there's a real reason.
yeah.
And the real reason these politicians are saying we need to give needles to people is because they're getting money from it, or they're getting some benefit from it. And they might say, "Oh, it's for this cause." It's not. It's for their benefit. Guarantee it. There's no reason to be handing out to these junkies, to drug
Right.
addicts, giving them their tools to be
Yeah.
doing their drugs.
But like Johnny said, you know, I see what the merit is, right?
Yeah.
I see why there's
And the real issue is the government is the reason that that they need the needles anyways, because it's no secret
Right.
that the government pushed these drugs out on people. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a true thing that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
and
That's how they get a lot
especially
of
with
their
crack
money.
cocaine.
That's how
Right.
they get a lot of their
in
money.
the in the 60s and 70s, they pushed it hard into the ghettos and stuff, man. And
Well, that's
Yeah.
where they get a lot of their funds from. It's because even though they steal a shit ton of money from us in taxes, and that's not enough for them. They're also doing shit under the table. They're selling drugs. Who knows what
Yeah,
our government's
there's
tied up
crazy
in, but
stuff.
Well,
they're definitely selling drugs.
speaking
So,
of,
as an employee of the
least
U.S.
of the
government,
things. That's the least of the things that we should be concerned about. Is
Right.
themselves.
I
They're
will say
definitely
this.
selling drugs and taking that money and building shit or doing shit with it. Who knows?
you know, I will say this, and speaking of conspiracies, so heroin is created from poppy flowers, right?
Yeah.
And the number one producer of poppy
Afghanistan.
is Afghanistan.
Yep. Because guess what? The
In
World
two
Trade Center
countries-
7 was the first tower to ever get hit, or to not get hit by anything, just burn down and fall down by steel, and it fell free fall speed for about 13 floors. And there's a website you can go to. It's called 9/11 Truth for engineers and architects, and you go on that website, and 3,000 architects, engineers, structural engineers, metallurgists, whatever that. I mean, these are people that specialize in science, and the science that went down in this building falling. And they have a fucking website where 3,000 of them, thousands of people across this nation that are educated scientists, got together to make a fucking website to say that 9/11 was an inside job, or not that it was an inside job, but that
It was allowed to happen.
that the building fell. There was something from within the support of the building. A fire did not bring the building down.
Right,
That's what they're
something else,
claiming. A
yeah.
fire did not. So if the fire didn't bring the building down, what did? Well, we went to war at Afghanistan with all the poppy seeds, all the heroin, a lot of oil, a lot of shit over there because of this event from a building that fell down that shouldn't even fell down in the first
Well,
place.
we invaded Iraq because of 9/11. We were in Afghanistan a couple times. The Russians tried, and you can't fight tribes. Like that's the thing that we're running into in Afghanistan is that we're fighting in mountainous terrain against tribal people who have lived there for thousands of years. You're just not gonna, I was gonna say something about the Native Americans, but I better not.
oh yeah, hey, tomorrow's
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Indigenous People Day.
It is, or Columbus Day if you're a federal employee. So
Yeah,
um,
no work
I think
tomorrow.
my girlfriend's like part Indian.
maybe Native American,
Native
or
American.
Native
or
American. No, not.
Oh, okay.
Native
You never know,
American.
you know. So she's not a real Indian. She's an indigenous peoples. But yeah, the false flags attacks have been going on since. So Vietnam was a false flag attack.
Yeah. Gulf of Tonkin.
Right?
Specifically.
Specifically. Pearl Harbor was a false flag attack with the Japanese. We knew
USS Maine.
we
back
knew that
in-
was happening.
Since-
We allowed it to happen. They gave us rights to go into and attack Japan.
Definitely back to USS Maine. That's one. Probably goes back further. That's
And then a lot of people believe as well that the 9/11 attacks were the reason that we needed to get public support to go into Iraq. And it is what it is, you know. But sometimes there is a military reason to do something. And unfortunately, if we lived in a military state, then we wouldn't need public support to do the operations that we do overseas. But unfortunately, we not unfortunately, but fortunately, it's the reason that our president it's the reason that our commander in chief is a civilian, right? Because if you let people like General Mattis run this place, it would be ran a lot differently. Our foreign wars would be ran much differently. But the reason that our commander in chief is a civilian is because we need that civilian outside look on it, right? And a lot of times, because of that, we have to get support from the citizens of this country in order to do certain operations that may not look like they are within the best interests of the United States, but it's because all the pieces aren't put together. You know, we only see pieces. You know, we see, well, there was no weapons of mass destruction. They found no weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. That's true. To my knowledge, even at 17 years in the military, we never found weapons of mass destruction.
No.
However, there's not one person that I met in my time overseas that was upset about Saddam Hussein being taken out of power. You know, so we look at it from that perspective, right? Do I think that we should...
Saddam Hussein... Now, Osama bin Laden, he was captured in a hole, correct?
No, that was Saddam Hussein.
That was Saddam Hussein
Yes.
They caught in the hole?
Yes. And then
So
we allowed... Osama bin Laden was shot by Navy SEAL Team... Well,
SEAL Team 6.
it was SEAL Team 6.
I don't believe it, to be honest. And I'm not saying it
No, you're not
doesn't
the only
happen.
one that doesn't believe
I'm
that.
not saying it doesn't happen, but here's the thing about belief. You can't force a belief.
Right.
I can lie to you and say I believe it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
truth be told, I don't fucking
No,
believe that.
we're all about
He
that
comes
here.
in, he kicks the door down. Obama does, and he says, "We got him. We got." First off, you didn't do shit, so don't say
Right.
we. You fucking pussy. You didn't do shit. You didn't do shit, so don't say we got him. They got him.
Yeah.
If they did, but you got no proof that they did. You don't got a body. This dude was doing terrorist shit, killing thousands of people, but we gave him a proper burial because our politicians are so honorable. They gave him a proper burial without any evidence or any photographs. I mean, we didn't drag him around the street on the back of a truck for 3 fucking days. That's what we ought to do to those motherfuckers. If they're as evil as they say they
Sure.
are, bring them over. Bring them over. Let's drag them around so these next evil motherfuckers see it.
Yeah.
But no, what do? We give them an honorable burial? No, dude, you're not gonna make me believe that. I cannot. It's not within my capacity to believe it. Whether it did happen, I'm not saying it couldn't have happened. I just can't believe it. I mean, there's too much conflict of interest, too much bullshit, and
There's
much
contention.
lack of evidence.
There's contention about... so Robert O'Neill was a SEAL Team 6 guy who took credit for firing the shot that killed Osama bin Laden. And then there's another guy named, I think his name's Owen Roberts or Matthew Owens, one of the two. He was the third guy, supposedly, up the stairs. But if you ask him, he shot bin Laden. So in the SEAL community, there's a couple of different people who are taking credit for actually killing it. Robert O'Neill is recognized as the one. He did. So if you've ever watched Zero Dark 30, he's the one that actually fired the shot in the movie. If you've read his book, The Operator, he talks about it in that book. But within the SEAL community, there's still contention about who shot him. And so we've even, as military guys, have said, man, if there's contention about who shot him,
That's an indication that the whole story might be a little bit loose.
Right.
But,
but then also SEAL Team 6 books sell millions of dollars worth a year.
And if I was that guy, though, that shot him, the one with the books and stuff, and I was listening to a guy like me complain about, I would understand where I'm coming from.
And he does too.
He ought to say,
yeah, Robert gets
and
it.
maybe Robert, was like, yeah, we should have brought him back and
I can tell you right now, they all felt that way.
He probably would have. If it was up to Robert, he'd probably put him on the back of a truck in chains and drag his ass around town for a couple of days. That's what we ought to do with him. But he can't blame me for not believing the shit that's going on.
I know.
It's hard. Like even the stuff, there's so much stuff that we know was proven that the government has come out that they've said they've done, that now it's hard to believe anything. I read something that said that like these power outages in California were caused because they're expecting like the earthquake to hit California, and it was some like strategy for that. And it's like, dude, how can you like, who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
So,
They said they turned the power off to.
They're shutting off a lot of power. There's a company in California that's shutting off a lot of power in California to a lot of people. And one of the ideas was that it was somehow in preparation to the doomsday earthquake that they were gonna have in California.
Like they turned it off so it doesn't.
I guess I don't know. I don't know exactly.
The earthquake happens.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what their theory was behind it, but basically that the government was behind. They knew that the earthquake was going to happen, and they shut off all the power to all these people and have that power to do that. And so it's like, how do you believe? You know, like, it could be. It wouldn't surprise me if there was just a consequence.
Some behind the table shit going on.
Behind the table shit going on, or just completely was coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, and like a couple of bad things lined up at one time. So it's like, that's honestly the problem with the internet. Like, you don't know. There's a lot of stuff that
if you put it on the internet, it makes it true.
Yeah.
Period. Period.
Right. But there's a lot of people too that have done a lot of research on the internet and put together some very real things and solved some very real problems. So it's like you can't discredit.
It has validity because, just because martial arts. I mean, how many stuff do you see on YouTube that works good, but how much stuff do you see
that doesn't? Yeah.
But I mean, you can just through martial arts, you can
It's
verify.
with everything.
It's with everything. There's a lot. You got to dig through a lot of shit to get to the good shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I found Gabby Garcia's penis pictures.
Have I ever told you about the time I saw Houston Alexander's penis?
No, but it's huge though.
Not as big as you'd think.
Well,
So-
I didn't have a
Probably a
judgment.
grower, not a shower.
I
probably
would expect
why.
so. I'm going to tell him that whenever he confronts me. But so I went to Matt Hughes' gym before, everything happened, when he was still fighting. And so I went to his gym to train, and we did a training camp there. And on like the last day, Houston Alexander shows up. He showed up like halfway through the practice. We're like hitting the bag. The coach shows a combo. I'm hitting the bag across from him, like he's on the same bag on the other side. And it was like something like jab, cross hook, rear uppercut. And he looks at me and goes, "Hey bro, what was that combo again?" I was like, jab, cross hook, rear uppercut. And he goes, rear uppercut? I was like, yeah, dude. Like, you're Houston Alexander, bro. And so like he does it a couple times, and then we get to doing sprints. And we do 10 sprints down the mats. I beat him 9 times. And I'm like looking at his calves. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I must be the fastest man alive. And then he tried the 10th time, and he was gone before I could start. Like, he was on the other side of the mats before I could start. I was like, holy shit. Anyways.
How'd you see his dick?
Yeah. I'm getting there.
That's how hard he was sprinting, man.
Yeah, he was sprinting so hard that you tripped over his own dick.
Yeah. How do you think he got all that power?
He's seen it from behind. That's why I
That's
said
what
it was
it is.
little. It was actually what was left
It
over
was just-
dangling
you
down.
were seeing the dangleberries.
There was actually a good 4 inches.
I only
You
saw
didn't
the
see,
tip of the
bro.
iceberg. There's so much behind it.
Motherfucker, he's
Nope,
hung like
there
a
was
horse,
nothing.
man.
There was nothing covering it up. There was
Oh, was it
nothing in the way.
Was it in the
in the locker room? Me and my buddy Aaron Wise are talking across from one another, and he's facing me, and so you can see what's behind me. Houston walks in and is like, "Hey guys, what's up, man?" Like, he's real nice. He's like, "Yeah, how long you been fighting? Blah blah blah." And I like turn around like, "Oh, bro, I've been fighting for and it's like over my shoulder, dude. And he's just like hands on the hips, like, "Oh yeah, I love training with you guys. Had a really good time. We'll go take a shower," and just like totally flexing on us.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create a line of clothing that, because when you're naked, the only thing you can do is either cross your arms or put your hands on your hips. When you desperately just want to put your hands in a set of pockets.
Yeah.
So I'm going to create a clothing line where it's a belt with just pockets on it, so that when you're talking to dudes in the locker room naked, you can put your hands in your pockets.
It's exactly. You've got to have somewhere to put your hands.
I mean, I don't mind it if I'm sitting there changing, talking to somebody at all. Don't really faze me. I hate when the first time I meet somebody, I'm butt ass naked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the first time, like I'm literally shaking their hand, I'm naked. For the
Yeah.
First time.
Or don't
'cause they'll
linger,
Come,
they'll
they'll come
like,
up to me. Yes, yeah. in the
get your
locker-
clothes on.
Yeah.
Most of the girls I've met, that's exactly. I'm naked the first time they meet me.
That's how they meet you. It costs money though.
I'll tell you what, it does cost money. I'll tell you
Hey,
what.
not in
Speaking
Serbia.
of
No, I'm just playing.
speaking of Danny Goff, man, nobody wears a set of tidy whities better than he does,
Hey, you rock some brother.
dude. And a set of cowboy boots. Come on now.
Hey yo.
He got me on cowboy boots.
Did he?
I'm wearing them all the time now.
I just can't. I'm always afraid if I have to run in an emergency scenario. I've seen people eat shit trying to run with cowboy boots on. I don't want to take them off. So I'm always in a situation, clothing wise, where I could always sprint away from danger if necessary.
I had a wedding
So I guess
that
you
I was
should
a groomsman in this weekend, yesterday. Also, we got to talk about this.
Pros and cons.
My best friend Daniel got his black belt, yo.
Oh, Daniel
Yeah.
Trimble got his black belt.
I don't have the sound effects pulled up right now.
Did Drink
Daniel-
too?
No, I did.
Oh, nice.
No,
Well,
I'm just
oh,
kidding.
no.
So here's what happened is Mr. Drain goes, "Hey brother, I put a line on there for you to sign to give to him." And I was like, "You're fucking right, you did." And so then we get there and somebody signed over it. Caleb
Yeah.
had signed over it. He didn't realize that Mr.
He
Drain
signed
wanted to
over
sign-
your.
That was
No,
your
he signed.
spot.
No, he signed over
No.
my spot. So I signed below Caleb. And now, like, and here's the thing: is for people that don't know, like, me and Daniel is my business partner that owns the gym with me. We're peers, but not anymore. Because
Now you're sensei.
I signed right. I'm sensei now. He's my first black belt. He's
My
so
question-
pissed about it, dude.
That's
My
hilarious.
question is, why did Caleb think that he got to sign it?
Oh yeah, I guess I don't know. I think Caleb was Daniel's first original coach.
Oh, was
I mean,
he?
He was both
Okay,
of our
I didn't know
original
that.
coach.
He's always been nice to me, so I think I should say nothing.
he's
about,
a good
you know,
guy.
I can't say anything bad about Caleb. So, but I can't wait to sign my first black belt certificate.
Yeah, it was I didn't even have a pen. I just did it with blood.
You know, in the state of Arkansas, what the trend in Arkansas is to just create your own martial art
Did you? Okay.
and then give people black belts in it.
Yes.
I have
And
an
we
idea
also
for
have
one.
to talk
one that
about.
I would really like to create. If I was to create one, be wall fighting.
Yeah.
The name of it. And just be,
Absolutely.
like straight up.
You have to
like,
fight people with walls.
No,
Like
on
it'd
the
be like,
wall.
you know how in wrestling,
Oh,
you
on the
start-
wall.
you start like up, down, whatever. You would like start one dude with the underhook on the wall and the other dude against their wall, against the wall, and then halfway through the 2-minute round or whatever, you'd switch or you'd flip, just like wrestling, be kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wrestling, like. But if I was to invent one, if I had to, it'd be wall fighting because that's one of the most. I mean, you just don't get to train it a lot.
That's true.
Man, it's so technical.
And there's walls everywhere we go.
Yeah,
You can use
if
a
somebody
tree.
will
It's-
push your ass up against
Yeah, it's
the
been
wall.
it's rare that I've never gone somewhere that didn't have a wall.
I've thought a lot about doing like I think it'd be cool to have like a gi jiu-jitsu tournament and have just like in a gym. Like my gym has one big wall and you're allowed to work off that wall. Like it's encouraged.
Oh,
If you
okay.
need to
I
use
got
the
you.
wall, you can
Yeah.
use it. And it's same like IBJJF kind of rule set, but the wall counts. And it adds a very real aspect to it. And it just
Oh,
makes it a little bit
definitely.
interesting.
Just build up your skills.
And
I
imagine
mean,
like gi grips and then add the wrestling portion of that. The game would change a little bit just from adding that component to it.
definitely, and I can do wall rounds. I might break my back in a wall round tomorrow. You never know. But typically, I can do more wall rounds more safely than I can wrestling out in the open.
Yeah.
because there's so much more. You have way more space,
And you have
way-
control.
you have control on that wall,
Yeah.
and you have something to lean on. And wrestling is just way more open area and shit to go wrong for your joints. But so like I'll train wall takedowns and shit way more often than wrestling, just because wrestling is so brutal on the body. My knees and
And wall
elbows and
wrestling is so
shoulders.
much more necessary. Like you rarely get a good clean shot out in the open.
Or shower wrestling.
I
Shower
got
Yeah.
I got a good story about straight up wrestling versus the wall fighting.
Uh-huh.
On that show, Ultimate Fighter.
You took down Jordan Burroughs against the wall. Tell me.
Well, I went to a Jordan Burroughs seminar. First time I met him, all my shit was dirty. All I had was a clean pair of boxers.
Oh,
show-
I remember this.
I
Yeah.
show up to the Jordan Burroughs seminar and I get on my boxers and that's it. And it's a Jordan Burroughs seminar. I'm not gonna not ask a question. It's Jordan Burroughs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I asked him a question. He says, "You know what? This is a. I guess he liked the questions. Come on out." He said, "Come on out. I'll show you." I said, "Oh hell yeah!" I'm
Were you just wearing boxer
just
shorts?
wearing boxers. My
Alright.
nuts was hanging out everywhere. It was a head outside single. I said,
Oh God. That's the worst place.
yeah. And I hear Luis just laughing. Luis is cracking up. He said, "I can see this nuts."
Oh God.
He said, "They're pink." I mean,
Do you
so
think
that- I
Jordan
hear that.
Burroughs talks about the time he saw Bryce
Oh
Mitchell's
hell no! He
penis?
didn't even see it. He wasn't one bit phased. I'm telling you, he just can. And I did too.
That's when you know you've had a lot of dicks in your face.
Dude, college wrestling rooms or
I kept
something else.
composure. Man, it is hilarious though, because I didn't really know what was going on until everybody explained to me afterwards. Like, bro, your balls was wide open. Everybody
everywhere.
was laughing. But Well, the wrestler, right? Another great wrestler. His name is Sean Bunce, I think.
Okay.
I think.
My buddy's
It
just
might
got
be
a huge heart
It
on.
might be Sean Bunce. Bunce or Blunts. I don't know. But anyways, I know what this dude looks like. If I seen him, I'd say hey to him. You know,
Yeah.
I remember what he looks like. But we didn't know who it was. DC just comes into the locker room. It was me, Brad Katona, and Tyler Diamond left on the team. And so he didn't want to, because we knew we was all going to fight each other eventually, or probably was going to.
Right.
And so he didn't want us training together anymore at that point. We already had been for like a month, so I wouldn't have minded it anyways. But he said, I'm bringing in this wrestler. And DC said, no. I'm bringing in this guy today. Y'all are going to wrestle. He's going to fuck you up. He's just going to fuck all y'all up. And, you know, he said, don't get discouraged. And, of course, I take that as a challenge. You know, I said, okay, who is this motherfucker? You know, who is this guy? And he comes in. And now, me and Diamond and me and Katona, we had straight wrestled, and I've worked a lot on my setup since going with these guys, but my straight wrestling, I mean, my best setup is a punch, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I go to straight wrestle, these dudes was just like getting into way better takedowns than I was. Like, I couldn't close the distance to get into takedowns. When I fought both of them, it was fine because I'd punch them and then shoot in.
Yeah.
And so it's way different. But in straight wrestling, you got Tyler Diamond, and then you got Brad Katona. And, of course, Coach knows my straight wrestling. I can wrestle once to get a hold of them, but they got setups on me and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So Coach puts me in last heat, and I knew these guys, when we straight wrestled, you know, they got me. They got me down. It was hard for me to get them down. I didn't get them down at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe Brad I might have in training. Probably maybe got him down once, but his ratio was higher in the straight wrestling in the fight. In both the fights, my ratio of takedowns was higher than theirs, which is interesting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting how that works and shit. But
Punches change it.
Huge. But Sean Bunce comes in the room, and it's Tyler Diamond first because he was the best out of us, and Katona goes up next. And both of those guys, I mean, he drops them like flies. He gets in on doubles. One of them shot in. He sprawled front headlock, circles the back, just boom, scores. Mitchell, get in there, you know. And he told me, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, I was mad. You know, and I went up to this dude. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know how good of a wrestler he was, but I just pushed his ass up, 2 hands. Like when the match started, I didn't go for a collar. I didn't want to be conventional. I'm trying to rough this motherfucker up, you know, because I don't know anything about him, and I don't even want to engage in the wrestling.
Right,
So
right.
I 2-hand push him in the wall and double leg him, pick him up on my shoulder, put him right on his ass.
That's
So
awesome.
that ain't bad, was it, coach?
That's
And then
great.
I go to do it again, and I go 2-hand pushing him,
He makes you pay.
and he just circles around. He got back to the center of the ring, and we started exchanging. He got me every time.
Oh yeah.
But I push his ass up against
That's
the wall.
one.
That's one.
Yeah.
That's one. That's all you need.
And in a fight, guess what? You got to get back up.
Yeah.
Coach ain't gonna break it up and say you might just need that one takedown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fight just starts to push you up against the wall. You can be the best wrestler in the world, but you got a wall. You can't sprawl. I lock my hands. I'm strong. Strong enough to pick a motherfucker my size up. You know, if I lock my hands on that double against the wall, it's not because of that wall. It's not as hard to do. You know, like it's not as hard to pick them up.
You can manipulate their posture a little bit more.
I just got him to my area. I found his one weakness right off the bat.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, my best chance is to push this dude up against the wall. And so that's what I done.
Your striking is always. I've always enjoyed your striking because it feeds so well into your wrestling. Like it
I
just.
appreciate it.
They
man.
both go hand in hand so well. And I've noticed that, like,
Yeah.
you know, you're just like that complete mixed martial artist where a lot of people specialize in
I
one or
try
the
to
other.
be the best. You know, nobody's perfect, but I try to
Absolutely.
to you know be diversified.
Yeah.
You know, be spread out in terms of things that I can attack with.
Mhm.
And
You know, another thing I was comparing you the other day to is like whenever you train, or at least the times that I've trained with you, and from what I've heard, you're like a metronome. You set a pace, and it's always a consistent, heavy pace, but you don't phase from that pace one bit. If you tap me and I'm like, oh, dude, that was a good time. That was a good armbar or whatever. You're already on my back and setting up the next choke. You're like, oh yeah, I'm having so much fun, and you're setting in the next choke, and you're just constantly at that pace. I really like that. watching you do that to people. It breaks them.
I
gotta
can
take a
attest
piss
to
real
that.
quick, man.
Yeah.
I drink this water
No, you're
and
good.
coffee. I'm gonna fill that water up again. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I sweat a bunch in training. And I
No,
gotta
no,
get
no.
hydrated.
You good. You know what?
It'll be like my third water.
We're at like 2 hours, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this whenever you come back.
Thank y'all for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
You got time. You got time. We're gonna let you come back. All right, we're live action. Yee! One question I wanted to ask real quick before we finished up. We didn't get into it. Have they given you your gosh dang camo shorts yet?
Man, they sure haven't.
They won't?
I'm not super pissed about it because they sent me these little, like it was these swirly. It looked like tie dye.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Some tie dye shorts. Like it literally looked like they just don't know what camo is. Okay, so they tried, they failed. They need to try again and try better and take my advice. They need to basically just text me and say, "What kind of camo do you want?" And
Yeah.
I'll send them a picture.
You had like was it Mossy Oak or somebody?
That's a good one.
I remember somebody was.
I mean, there's a bunch of good camo out there.
Somebody was
Real
like
tree.
tweeting back that they like supported this movement. Like
Hell
Reebok
yeah.
hit us up and we'll get it going.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing about that. So you still
Now,
haven't got the camo shorts.
Have they told you
Tried
why?
and failed.
Have they told you why? Is it because they don't want to infringe on like other people's designs? You know, because Real Tree is a trademark
Yeah,
design.
that's true.
Mossy Oak is a trademark design.
No, I've got a pair that's nobody's design. It's a little Chinese man's design.
Yeah.
And got them overseas. Paid $40 for like 5 of them. They're
Yeah.
like super cheap. I just had to trust them.
Well, Reebok was going to do the exact same thing, so they were going to
What's that guy's phone number?
And I told him, I said, dude, I'll fight in these shorts, and y'all just slap a logo,
your logo
on
on
them. I don't. If y'all want to fucking
There's-
put your logo on it, cool. I've got the shorts in my closet.
Yeah.
There's nothing else on them but camo. It's a completely, dude sold it to me. It's good, you know.
Mhm.
They wouldn't do it. They sent me this shit pair, and it was like not real camo. And
They'd
I was
probably
like,
have to-
I'll just take the regular stuff over that.
They'd probably have to pay like royalties to that guy or some.
Yeah, there's
sort
always some kind of business.
loophole.
So, you know, there's some stupid, like, if you ever watch that show Silicon Valley, there was an episode where this one guy made millions of dollars just suing people.
What in the fuck was that?
Was that one of the springs?
There's one of the springs on this thing. Oh God, I hope I'm not about to lose an eyeball. Dude. Good Lord.
Did you just get superpowers?
Yeah, that's our new sound effect.
But this guy made millions of dollars off of fake lawsuits, basically saying like, well, I thought of that idea before you did.
Yeah.
And then now you can either settle for $20,000 or we can go to court and you can prove in court that you didn't do it. So people like that guy are the reason that Reebok, you know, won't agree to do something as simple as we look at it and go, well, man, just fucking put your logo on the back of it. We'll call it square.
Well, my reason is, I believe, is because then I think that everybody would
Yeah,
want to, and guess
right.
what?
Oh,
they
yeah.
would. If somebody,
Then
if
Reebok
Johnny
loses it.
Fireball wants to come out, I shouldn't
That's
say
actually
Johnny.
Johnny's nickname.
You can say my last name.
You can say his
If
last name.
if Jimmy-
Johnny Wester's not trademarked.
Yeah.
If Jimmy Fireballs wants to come out in flaming shorts, because he's the Fireball and he's fast as fire or whatever his fucking thing is, he should have his little fire shorts.
Yeah.
For me, my little goofy thing is I want the camo shorts because that's what I love. That's
Yeah.
Represents Arkansas.
it
represents the
represents a
South,
lot
you
of
know.
shit. to
And
me.
they've got to express some individuality. You know,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen
Why would
Cowboy
you not?
Cerrone. He has a pair of his old tie shorts. He's sewn on to his.
And he got fined for it.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, they
I didn't
took
know.
money from him.
That's
Oh,
so
shit.
stupid.
It's like, yeah, we can. Yeah, you're totally allowed to do that. We'll just fine you a couple thousand.
Yeah.
You know,
He's-
go
and
ahead, put
he
the
did
patch
it-
on. We'll
damn.
just take your money.
He
from
didn't
you.
even
Yeah.
do it on the shorts themselves. He did it on his like Under Armour underneath that was showing because he
You
wears
just
that
sew?
high cut.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's rough. All right, well, that's our episode, Bryce. Thank you for
Dude, it's an honor.
for coming on. Tell us again when your fight is. UFC. What number is it? Is it a
Hell,
number?
I don't even know about the number.
It's
but
just
December
UFC Bryce
7th,
Mitchell.
UFC Bryce
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So December 7th.
December 7th, Washington, D.C. Fighting Matt Sales. It's going to be a good one.
Is it pay-per-view? Do you know any of those details?
I do know that I got moved up to ESPN. I don't know what that means.
Probably
Okay.
means you're going to be on the. It's probably is it a
Not on
fight night?
Plus. It's not on Plus.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
okay.
on. It's on.
So if it's on the show, then it's
show.
going to be a pay per
For
view
the
probably.
TV channel. Okay.
Cool.
So that's great. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's a. I don't really know the difference, but it's they say it's a promotion.
Well, one is
from
free.
The Plus.
Yeah,
The
because
Plus you got to pay for.
you do pay for the app, but you like last night's fight, for instance, was a fight night, so I just streamed it live on my phone, and I didn't have to pay for it. But if it goes
So
to
there's
ESPN,
more people watching that.
yes. But then when you go to the ESPN channel, it's an actual pay-per-view where you have to pay like $50 to watch it, which is good for you as the fighter on the card.
Well, I think
know.
only the main events and certain fighters on the card get cuts of them.
Get
Just
cuts
because
of
you
the
get on a
pay-per-view.
pay-per-view don't
Yeah,
mean you
that
get the
makes
pay-per-view points. That's on negotiation.
They do a lot of
It's
that
just-
by ranking now, don't they?
Yeah, ranking, and I mean, there's a lot of factors. Even if your rank sucks, but you're like crowd favorite, maybe they would. You know, it's on a particular. Just because you're on that main card, don't mean that you're getting those pay-per-view.
That makes
points.
sense.
All right. Well, that's the episode. Tune in next Monday for episode 8. This was episode 7. That's huge. And then we've got Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our Patreon so you can get a shout out. We're also going to be doing a video of some techniques. Bryce is going to be sharing some technique with us. We'll be putting that out a little bit on Instagram and on Patreon. And then you can listen to us on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and Google Play.
Bryce has social media as well.
Oh, yeah.
So even though you took your headphones off, tell everybody where they can find you on social media if they don't already know.
So my manager runs Instagram, Twitter, and a Facebook for me.
So what name should they look at?
And I know on Twitter it's Bryce Thug Nasty MMA maybe.
looking it
Instagram,
up
I'm
on-
not sure. Facebook, I'm not sure, but most of that stuff is like I'll take a picture with somebody that sponsors me with something, like for example, Big Rock Pizza. You know, I took a picture eating that pizza. That's the first time I had their pizza. They sponsored me, so I said, "Man, I got to try this product."
It's a good pizza?
Delicious. It's convenient. You know,
What's the product?
it's called Big Rock Pizza.
Big Rock Pizza. Where's that at?
They don't have a store. What
they
I don't
send it to you?
believe. Well, it's in a gas station. It's like a gas
okay.
station, and I'm telling you, if there's something that you need in a gas station, like you need convenience and shit that tastes good, because a lot of the stuff in the gas station is shit. That's a good quality pizza, man.
Is it?
And yeah, if you're eating all gas station food, it's a little bit expensive, but you're paying for the convenience.
Yeah.
So like. But for what it is, like it's good pizza that if you're super hungry and don't have time to go somewhere,
Snag.
I had a $3 piece of pizza the other day, pretty damn big, like some big ass quarter size of a plate chunks, and it's good pizza,
Pretty
Big
damn
Rock,
good.
Big
There you
Rock
go,
pizza.
Big Rock
And so
Pizza.
I take a picture, send it to my manager, and he posts it. And there's a lot of products that people send me and stuff that I do that with.
Yeah,
And
so you can help out Bryce if anybody's listening. Help him get his training expenses covered. Thug Nasty _UFC is the Instagram name.
And if you want to train with Bryce,
Verified.
he teaches the Tuesday, Thursday no-gi classes out at Westside MMA.
Yes, sir.
Just a shout out.
Come on.
Yep.
So if you want to get training in with the real UFC fighter, you can come out there. And then if you want to train with me, I'll be there too.
The handsome
yeah.
one.
The handsome one.
It'll hurt you. Stay away. That dude's a killer.
Do you have any other sponsors or anything you want to shout out where you have the
A lot of
opportunity?
sponsors. XL4 to Cabot.
Oh yeah, I
Except
passed
for
that
the
on my way to
Cabot.
that's a good place,
They
dude.
sponsored me since I was an amateur, man. Man, there's a bunch. Like I said, I've been hitting the head so many times.
We can't fit them all in, but yeah.
I can't remember them.
I feel you.
It's when the fight gets close, I'll do interviews and shout them out. But it's more like when the fight gets close, that's when
Yeah.
I get those interviews.
I get you. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I give them the shout outs. Fight's so far out now, I can't even think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not in that zone yet.
Yeah,
You're not in Thug Nasty zone yet. I go there every night before bed. All right, guys, that's the episode, and tune in next Monday for another one.
See it.